And we are live right now. The OK Show with Iceman.
Yo, Rod Rodriguez, what up? You hear me?
Nice, nice house. I love your house, man. I can't get enough
I
of it.
know, man. Thanks,
Time
thanks.
ever into that
Me too.
piano.
Can't get
I
enough of
would
it because it's
can't
not
get
mine.
enough. Did you break in? Did you break into that house?
SML. You know what SML means?
SML.
SML. Sa mailad lang. Right?
Sa mailad
So,
lang. All right.
yeah,
I
sa
thought you
mailad
broke
lang.
in and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my show here.
Dude, I know. I look like a Mexican,
A,
like
dr- a
thief
drug
or something.
a drug cartel drug lord.
It's either that or one of those like a gardener or something who broke into
Right.
the house of the client. So, anyways, welcome to the show, Rod Rodriguez, Ice, and we're talking about romance or lack thereof.
Yes. Romance.
Romance. Okay, and
Romanza.
we also have to have an episode on bromance, right? Like the friendship within guys, the guy code, all that. So anything guy related. That's what I'm very excited about. We'll have that next Monday, hopefully. Don't forget, make a note. Bromance. So women get what the guy code is. We will reveal a lot about the friendships that men have. That does not involve romance, but sometimes the male friendship is even tighter and more secrets are shared than a man between a man and a woman because I guess women are the same way. So hopefully on Monday we will have that, or if we don't have a topic for Saturday and Pinky's up for it, we'll have the
I looked it up
bromance episode
earlier. There were so many definitions, and it was kind of funny. No, I can't find it.
for romance.
Yeah, I googled it. I was trying to,
Okay.
find the definition, the exact definition of romance, but there were
Did you find
different
one that you
definition of
liked?
romance. Hang on. Let me use my computer now, and let's see uh, what Google says about romance. All right, let's see. Hmm. Right. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. There's like verb used with object, without object. No, this is not what I saw earlier. Hang on. I think the free. All right. Okay. Here it is. A love affair, romance. All right. Number one, a love affair. Okay.
Okay.
Ardent emotional attachment or involvement between people. Love. All right. A strong, sometimes short-lived attachment, fascination, or enthusiasm for something. Right. And it says there that romance can be a relationship with someone, but you're not married to the person. So that's what it
Okay.
was. So that's why I was like, I was trying to look for that particular site that I I read that part where it says there that you're not married with the person. It's just like romance. It's short lived. It's an emotional. It's a really strong emotion towards somebody, but no way you're married to the
That's
person.
not
So that's
okay.
romance. Hang on,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't find it. Hang on. See, they always use the term a love
Uh,
affair. So
yeah.
when you say
Well,
a love
we'll make
affair,
we'll
is
make up
it's
our
an
own
affair,
definition.
right?
Yeah, yeah. We'll make up our own definition along the way. But I mean, I think the thing with romance is like everyone has their own personal definition of it as well. Especially women, they have their idea of romance. Even when you talk to women about it, it's like some women, even guys, like there are guys who are romantic, there are guys who are not.
Yeah. I think the romance
I
that
always
we
have
have
this
in
thing.
mind is also there because here it says to court, woo, or try to arouse the romantic interest of, or to have a love affair with. That's basically
Okay.
it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, so it's spicier than, I guess it's not spicier. Not spice. Maybe spicy is not the word, but it's elevated to another level where there's more there's a little bit more intimacy to it. There's more rituals going on. There are a lot more requirements for it to fall under the romance category. But at the same time, it can also be like sexy. It's a state of mind. You can ask one person what they think is romantic. You might get a different answer from another person who might have a different definition of romantic. Us guys, on the other hand, I don't speak for all men, but I think I speak for most men. Romance is something that we kind of obviously, it's an idea that comes to our heads, and it's become like a vital thing when it comes to relationships because we feel like it's essential for women to feel loved and appreciated, and it's not much for us. Like if you ask me about romance, it's like I think guys are more sexual, right? We're more on like just the physical gratification of it. Like let's just get naked and get it over with. But women, on the other hand, you got to dim the lights, you got to play the right music, you got to have scented candles, you got to turn off the UFC or the ESPN or whatever the
Then
heck
why
it is that
refer to
you
it
or
or why call
Netflix.
it romance when you're just after sex? Why just not call it sex?
Exactly.
Why do you have
But
to say
like I said, I'm talking about like from
romanza? Romanza is like it has
I
a
think
really well. If you listen to it, romanza is like it's so malaswa. It's so it's malaswa, man. I mean,
yeah,
it's
it's become
so
malaswa.
right,
But
lood, right? It is very malaswa when you say romanza. But romanza na ni mo na ba?
yeah,
What the
romanza.
heck? But when you say, "Oh, romance," I had this romance with you know with this woman with this lady, and
Yeah.
it sounds better. It sounds more respectable than
Yeah. It
"Bay,
does.
romansahan
It
na bay."
does. It
You know
does.
what I'm saying?
It does.
So it's so
It
bastos. It's
doesn't. It doesn't.
so maniakis.
It doesn't necessarily mean sex. Actually, when you think about it, right? You can
I
romance
know,
somebody or have
but
romance in a
the
relationship, and
way that we
sex might not
say
be
it in
involved.
vernacular, the way we say it in vernacular, "Bay, romansahan na bay."
Romanza.
Pusang iring romansa na sa niyo niya.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, if the
It's like
women
it's like
that we're going out with, that we're gonna do romance with, if they hear that, if they hear our friends say that, they'd be like, "What? What have you been talking about? Oh my God,
because
no!
do you know what that is? You know why that
That's
is?
so
Because
gross."
guys just because it doesn't come naturally. I mean, it's not that it doesn't come naturally for us, but like I said, our definition of it might just be that. It's like okay, how would you define romance as it applies to you? Like if a woman wanted to be romantic with you, right? And she's the one exerting the effort. Like she's initiating the romance, not you. Because we're so used to initiating it, candlelight dinner, musicians, all that crap, roses and all that stuff. We initiate that for the woman because we feel like that's her weakness. That's what's going to get you in the sack. That's what's going to get you into bed. That's what's going to make her melt. You don't just like go animalistic and become Tarzan and like take everything off and you think she'll get turned on. No, women have a lot of issues when it comes to intimacy. They have a lot of issues. So guys, on the other hand, we kind of just want to get to the bottom of the issue here. What is it that really want to get done? But we have to go through the ritual. So I'll ask you, Ice, if
Right.
if a woman were to be romantic with you and she has to do things that would give you romantic thoughts, not necessarily sexual or whatever romantic
Hmm.
thoughts may be for you, if you ever even have them, what would a woman have to do? Do you need a candlelight dinner? Do you need musicians? Do you need violin playing in the background? Do you need to be taken to a beach in Bali or by the Eiffel Tower in France? What is
No,
it for you?
that's too
What
complicated. That's. I mean, Bali so far, and
but I mean,
the
will it
Eiffel
work?
Tower is
Will
like,
it work? Is
I
that
mean,
like for you?
no.
Do you need it? Do you need
It
it?
doesn't matter where. It's just the ambience. You know what I'm saying? It's just the mood of the place that you know that we eat at, or the mood of the place that we stay at. I mean, that's basically romance.
So
You know what I'm
so
saying? It's
it
like
works for you. It has
it's
an effect. It has
sometimes
an
we have
effect.
those things planned when we want to go out with someone, and if we want to make it special, we always plan things, right? We pick out the
Yeah, yeah,
nice place, we pick out um, we plan what to order, what wine to
yeah,
have.
yeah,
Sometimes we talk to the waiters, and actually
yeah,
the whole restaurant. We try to talk to them, or wherever. It could
yeah,
be a hotel, it could be a beach resort. We try to work with them. Like they're in cahoots with your plans, and
yeah, yeah,
sometimes it kind of it kind of work. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can
yeah, yeah,
feel it when it's working, and you can also feel if it's not working. You know what I'm saying? It can, like, okay, there was
yeah.
this
But
one
has it
time, all
has it ever
right?
happened to
So
you though? Has it ever happened to you that that a woman initiated it? Because we're usually talking from us initiating it. I'm talking about a woman initiating it to get you to be in a
I don't.
romantic mood, not you booking
Okay, the
the
woman. I
reservation or
think the
whatever. Like
woman or the women where we're
she did,
from.
she did, they did.
No. I don't think they're ready for
Don't
that.
do
Look,
that stuff.
I've never been with a woman who initiated anything. like that. No,
Yes, that's
especially
what I'm.
where
That's what
we're
I'm
coming
talking about.
from. I mean, I'm from the Philippines, and you're from the Philippines. Well, you've lived in another country. I don't know if, a lady of another of like of another nationality did that to you, but
Another
me
planet. Another planet.
from
Yeah.
our time, I don't think that the
Yeah.
women from that time were were into these things. I think they were still like sort of, you know what I'm saying. We're like from a conservative
Hmm.
society, and usually it's always the
Yeah.
men who initiate things. I'm pretty sure
Yes. Yes.
there were women back then who were, like, who were probably straightforward, who were more confident, and
Yeah.
who were more, you know, um, um, sure of themselves, and they didn't care about what
Yes.
other people think. So that probably, but from my experience, it's always been me who's been initiating things, right? I've never met a woman
Yeah.
who, who tried to come up with a romantic dinner, or tried to come up with a romantic getaway with me. No, I have not experienced that. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, have you in the Philippines, or like when you live in
Um.
the States? Has that happened to you?
Well, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, yeah. I think it has, but maybe not intentionally by the woman, but I felt it. Mainly my wife. I'd say maybe something that would seem as simple as her preparing my favorite dish, or her exerting the effort to order something online for me, or her buying me that game. For me,
So this is
that's
happening
romantic. Like
now that you're
that's
already
my
married. Is
definition
that
of.
what you're saying?
No, no, no. She's done
Or are
stuff
you
for me
kind
like
of from the
before,
past?
like when we. Yeah, yeah, she's done stuff. It's my wifey. She's the one. I mean, I did have like a, like an ex girlfriend who was also kind of like maalaga and all that stuff. So I guess for me, that's kind of like
But that's not
being a
romance.
guy.
Do you
That's
think that's
I don't.
romantic? It's just being
I,
caring. I think,
no,
is
no. I like I
caring
said,
romantic? Is that what it
it's
is?
like
Are you? Mm.
it's for me it is, because it's like sex. It's like sex. It's like, or being sexy. It's a state of mind. Like, okay, for example, I'll tell you this. Like, my wife is not big on flowers, right? But you can define that as romantic. You get flowers and chocolates and, a candlelight dinner. But for my wife, it's not necessary. Like, that's maybe for her, even though she's a woman, it's not like I have to do that. Like, she never had to pressure me to do that. She would appreciate it, I'm sure, but it's not like, maybe she just feels like it needs to be done because everybody has done it, and it's like posting it on Facebook, so she feels like she's pressured for her husband or her boyfriend to do that to her as well. But as a person, that's not necessarily kind of, I think, what gets her motor running. And I think when you say romance, it's like, I don't think it's a specific thing. Like, that's why I was asking you. It's like, as guys, what's our definition of romance? Because you said a woman's never done that to you, a woman's never prepared dinner or whatever. Yeah, but somebody can do that for somebody and not feel romantic at all. It could be the driest date on the planet. In fact, I tell you this, most of my most boring dates and least memorable or forced evenings were those where I spent a lot of money, we ate at a fancy restaurant, we had to dress up for all that crap. And when we got there, it's like, let's go to a bar, let's loosen up, and I think that would be mine, but I felt like she kind of felt the same way too. Like, you just kind of did it for the formality of it, but you weren't really doing it for yourselves. And that's why I'm saying romance is it defined by the ambiance? Is it defined by how you're dressed up, as the music that's playing? Or is it defined by what turns you on? What makes you feel romantic? Like, it's love. Like okay, like maybe I would be I would go out with a girl, and we would have something like pizza and beer, right? And there's nothing romantic about pizza and beer at a pizza place, right? Where it's dark and people are just drinking and stuff. But maybe there will come a time at that night where she will make subo, the pizza to me. Like, she'll actually feed me the pizza, and maybe she's never done that for me or to me. Maybe it was her first intimate gesture. Maybe we were just like hanging out before any of that happened, and then all of a sudden, susubuan niya ako ng pizza. And for me, it's like, damn, that's the best slice of
All
pizza I've
right.
ever had, right?
Okay.
I, no, because I mean, we're talking about romance. We're talking about romance here. Like, what makes you kilig, right? So for
Right.
me, it's, you know, You know what I'm saying? It's like
I know what you're saying.
for
I know what you're
okay.
saying.
You
I
know what I'm
think
saying, right?
when I
You know what I'm
was
saying?
younger, those things would probably get me. But now that I'm at this age, it's just like, I mean, I know what you're saying, right? Because we've been through these
Yeah.
things, right?
Yeah.
And there are things that make you cringe or something. I mean, cringe in a positive
Yeah.
way because it's so romantic, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
man, that was so nice. But then now
Yeah.
I just like laugh at it.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
but subukan ng pizza sa beer house. That's not cringy at all because that's not even romantic. I mean, what's cringy is people forcing it. Like, nakatuxedo kayo, itsura nyo mukhang ano, di ba? It's like that for me is kind of
That's the thing.
forcing it.
That's the
But,
thing. That's the thing.
you
So
know,
I really can't tell. I really can tell. Like you're telling me that that's an experience for you, and it must be. You know what I'm saying? That it must be because
yeah,
it's like I've
have you
seen
ever
people.
felt
Okay,
romantic in your life? Have you like you mismo, not the girl, you, like you got kilig. Like like okay, example, Pretty Woman. We've all seen that movie, right? Now, perhaps for most, the most romantic scene was when she had her back turned at that bar, and then Richard Gere walked in and didn't notice that she was the girl wearing that red dress, because she was a
hmm
prostitute and she never dressed up that way, and this guy helped her at the hotel to wear that beautiful red dress, and her hair was all curled and tied. And then Richard Gere was like, he was about to walk out, and then he goes back and she stands up, turns around, and realizes it's Julia Roberts. And that's like he sees her in a different light. So I think kinilig si Richard Gere, and that's initially there. That would be the romance part, right? That would be the romance part. But there are also scenes in the movie where they were in the bathtub and just giggling and just like having
right.
fun, and
Or it could be
you
just
know,
that Keanu Reeves would come out from the first scene of Speed, and everybody's just like, ah, that's romantic
I don't know about Keanu Reeves,
for the
but
most
we're trying
for the
we're trying
most people inside the cinema.
yeah,
It's just like, all right,
we're
well,
trying
what
to
was
yeah,
that about? He
exactly,
just came
exactly.
out
Look,
with this
like
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 with
Robert
this SWAT
Ro-
uniform, and everyone's like,
Robert Pattinson,
oh,
Robert Pattinson
what?
from Twilight,
What
just
the
like
hell was that?
starts glowing in the sun, right? I mean, like what? Edward Cullen, what? Like panty, like see, like okay, but I don't think that's romantic. I don't think that's necessarily romantic. I think that's just
That's
kilig.
just
I don't
kilig.
think
That's
the
just kilig, right?
that's just
So that's not
kilig.
romantic,
Rom-
really.
yeah,
But
romantic
they
is I
felt.
think like
Don't you think they felt
sweet,
romance at that
like
time?
that sweet. No, they wanted to
Because
be romanced
when were they?
by
No,
Edward Cullen. That's what they wanted, but I don't think like they initially felt it. Like, I mean,
that's
I mean,
true.
kinilig. Like if that happened to
Well,
them, they're
yeah,
like
I
picturing
was
themselves
Mr.
being Bella,
I was Mr.
right?
Romantico when I was young, when I was in the uni. When I was in the university, I would always,
Yeah,
all right, I did a lot of things, romantic things. I would say. I think my wife would
you were a
consider it
gentleman.
romantic.
You were a
I would like
gentleman.
always give
Yeah,
her like a
gentleman ka
card
kasi.
that you get from LMRs, and those like love thoughts, or no, love coats,
That's romantic,
and
man.
I would,
That's
like,
romantic.
yeah, but now I look at it, it's like, wow, that
You
was
feel
so. It was
no,
just like,
dude. Trust me. You know what I used dude, you know what I used to do? I used
no,
to
my
write
father
letters
would always
and
criticize
like
me for doing
spray
those
my
things. I'd give
pabango.
her flowers and whatnot.
Spray my pabango on the letter. I would spray my
Oh
pabango,
crap!
man. So that when she opens, it's like, and then that's what I would use the whole time. Like so that she would smell it, she would remember the letter. And I don't know if she threw that away or whatever, but I used to
Do
do
you
that. I
look
gave up
back
on
at those
letters
things
after a
and you're
while.
like, oh, that was pathetic, or do you like, no, that was like that? Those were my
Um,
moves, and I would,
no, it wasn't pathetic. You know why? You know why?
why?
Because there was no other
Because you got
way.
the
We
girl.
didn't have
Because you got the
Facebook.
girl. Is that what
No,
it is?
because
Because
we
you
didn't
got the
have
girl,
Facebook. We didn't have Messenger.
right?
We didn't have text. This was our only way to kind of express our, like when I was in the States, the technique was you put a letter in the girl's locker, or the girl would put a note in your locker, to ask you to out to the dance. So that was the trick because the lockers always had that little slit, right? They always had those little holes that you could put like paper inside. So that's how they did it in the States. So obviously now it would be more like texting, or we'll message you, or maybe an Instagram poke or whatever it is that people do now. But back then we really didn't have any other way unless alangan na maharanahin natin, right? Like I never did that. I did it through the phone. Like I actually sang a love
Well, I
song that
actually
I
did.
wrote.
I actually did.
through- You did that too? You sang
Yeah,
on
I
the
did.
phone?
I went
See?
to my no,
You
not on
see?
the phone. On their, I actually did harana. I went to their
Oh crap.
house.
I did
I
it
asked
on the
permission
phone
from the
only. I
parents,
never went to the house.
and I brought my friend who could play the guitar, and it was
Oh
more of a
wow.
mañanita in the morning because it was like early in the morning around. It was still dark around quarter to five, and we went to their house. Went outside her room, by the window, and my friend started
Mm-hmm.
playing, and they started singing. So I think I sang about three songs, and then she woke up, and I don't know. Now I look back at it, and I'm like, what the heck did I do? what what the hell was that? But I think she was so happy, and I was so
Dang,
happy
man. But
after that because I think that was the
hats
time
off
when
to
when I
you.
really when I when I really told myself that, oh, I'm gonna marry this person, because after the like after I sang those three songs. She opened the window and she was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Blah blah blah. Like how girls react to these things, like, "Ah, you shouldn't have." Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
she came down and she was like, "All right." She led us to the living room, and we sat there for 5 to 10 minutes. Me and my friend, the one who
Mm-hmm.
played the guitar, and she was at the kitchen, and she was like preparing stuff. She was the one, like cooking breakfast. So she did everything, and I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh my god!" Like, I think this is the person I'm gonna marry. You know what I'm saying? Because she was like there. She was just like, "I'm never gonna be hungry." She knows how to, she knows how to move around a kitchen, and I got duped. And she never
Because
does that thing.
because
'Cause
because that was
dude, she cooks if she feels like it. It's more of like now
wow.
well, but then again, it's more of like, but that was the thing. It was just like, all right, see, I thought that was the whole thing, but then if you think about it, I mean,
Dude, you
really,
duped her
don't
too.
you think that's
You duped
sexist?
her too.
I know, no, I mean,
You,
I
you
probably
don't sing.
did, but
Do you still sing songs to her? Oh, maybe you still do. Maybe you still do. I know you. Maybe you still do. Do you still sing
well,
songs? Or did you just do? Okay. Do you still sing songs to her? Because
yeah,
if she
yeah,
only
like we
did that
still,
one time, inarana mo pa rin. Okay. Okay. All right. So you didn't
right.
dupe her. She
So
duped you.
I was still, yeah, we kind of like still do those things. But the thing was, it wasn't like I was like really, but I was like, jokingly, I would say like, oh, I got duped because she's more of a career woman than, like a stay at home wife. She's so, but then I'm happy because she is a career woman. Than like or
Which you
than someone
prefer.
who prefers to be a stay at home wife. So but it's more of like at that particular time in my mindset was like, all right, well, that's cool. Like she knows how to she knows how to cook. She knows how to take care of visitors and whatnot, and I was there, and she knows her way around the kitchen. I was like, all right, maybe this is the woman for me. But then if you think about it,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that could have been like, like it could be now people would think like, oh, you're so sexist. Why? Because she knows her way around the kitchen. That's your basis that you're gonna marry someone. But I'm like, no, no, no. I was just like at that particular time, I thought that was, that was so cool. But then, um, well, that wasn't really the case because she's not that type of person who would just, like her mom is. Her mom would just be
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
about cooking the whole day, what to cook for
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
breakfast, what to cook for
Yeah.
lunch, what to have
But
for
her,
merienda, what
not
to cook for
necessarily.
dinner. But not her. She's like the total opposite. If she feels like it, she would. But
Well,
then
then
it's like
that's a romantic
that's not a
gesture. What
priority.
she did. That's a
Yeah, I
romantic
know that.
gesture.
Yeah,
That's what
that
she
was
did.
kind of, yeah,
It's not something she does normally or she would do for
yeah,
anyone. But you
yeah.
also went out of your way. I mean, hinarana mo, dude. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you guys didn't end up, I think you would have left an indelible mark in her life because I think you would have been the only guy to do that. Because personally, I've never done it. Like the only time I ever sang to a girl was like playing the guitar. The problem was I sang the same song to another girl, and that girl was her friend. And they got to talk about it. She mentioned it to her friend, and they found out I
What,
sang the
the
same
same
song,
song? Holy
which I
crap! That
claimed
piece of shit.
the same song,
Right,
which I claimed that I wrote for her. And then I sang, and then I was that guy. When I was in college, I was that guy who was like like just fire at everyone, and then whoever gets hit, okay, that's the one. Like I never. I don't know, because it was college time. I know I wasn't really like I had
well, you
barkadas.
said you were the girlfriend type
I was. I
guy,
was
yeah.
the first couple of years, yes, and then after my first like serious relationship, first year, second year, my time when I was hanging out with Carlo and all these guys, I was hanging out at the bars with Dexter and all those guys. I did not have a girlfriend. Like I didn't have a steady girlfriend, because I came from that long distance relationship with a Rotary exchange student girl, and it was a long distance relationship, and so after that, I just like courted girls and I had MU and all that stuff. And I almost like got back with an ex-girlfriend one time, but it wasn't like, I took a break from that. It was more barcadas. I was courting everybody and I got dumped a lot. Like a lot of girls were rejecting me because I did not seem serious or I was just not their type. But the bottom line is, when you talk about romance, see, the thing is, even you, like, it came from your mouth as well. It's like you've never felt it. I mean, you've never had a girl initiate it to you. So, like I was telling you that the girl, like, gave me pizza and stuff, and it's not something she does. She's not very showy. I never saw it coming. I never thought she liked me that way. I was just like, I liked her, but she didn't like me. I felt like pinagbigyan lang ako. Sige na nga, pizza tayo. Sige na nga, mag-beer tayo. Pagbigyan kita, because she smokes and all that stuff. And he was even her car. So I was like, she had a nicer car, and her car was boom boom. So nakihitch lang ako. So when she did that, for me, that was like, okay, medyo kinilig ako, right? So for me, as a guy, since we're not the type of guys that need candlelight dinners and all that stuff, unless you need that, that was romantic for me. But for a woman, like I said, I mentioned my wifey when she was still my girlfriend, and we were still working at the radio station. She came to the state. She found out I loved squid balls and lobster balls and all that stuff that they sell at the grocery area of Gaisano Grocery, Gaisano Mall. And one time I was working on a Sunday shift. I think I was doing like overload or something, and I wasn't expecting her to show up. And she showed up, and she brought me like a lot of those like squid balls and lobster balls. And at the time I never ordered a lot. Like, diba, how much was lobster? Like 40 pesos for like 4 pieces. She bought me like a lot, like maybe 200 pesos worth of it. So I was like, for me, that was sweet. That was a sweet gesture. She bought me something that I really liked. It was it wasn't nothing fancy, but it's something that I really liked. And it was a surprise. She didn't tell me she was coming. Maybe yun nanguhuli. Tignan ko nga. Bisitahin ko nga yun sa station. Hindi ko sabihan. I'm not gonna tell him I'm going. And then, like, maybe that's what she was doing. Can you imagine?
Right.
If that was you probably would have been caught.
I never get
I got
caught.
lucky.
I never
Yeah,
get
I got
caught.
lucky. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
Iceman for
She
crying out
thought like,
loud.
all
You're
right, so
slippery.
it won't be too obvious. All right, I'll get
I'll
some of these
bring.
squid balls.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
just to
Thinking
make it
that.
look like I'm actually caring for him, but in reality, I'm just spying on him.
Nanguhuli.
Oh,
Oh, it's a
squid
Sunday.
balls,
You'll never
hon.
expect me. You'll
Leche!
never expect
Sinasabi
me.
ko na nga ba, may kasama ka dito. Pak! Oh my
Toothpick.
God!
She's gonna toothpick me to death.
Stab you with a
Leche ka!
toothpick.
Bumalik pa ako
Death by 1,000 stabs of toothpick.
of toothpick. Yeah, like squid ball. But for me, that was romantic. So we want to hear from Dexter, from Gab. Uh, guys, like I said, it's tough for guys to feel romantic because we're more sexual and more all of that. But you know, it, okay, Ice, when you do romantic stuff, okay, we'll read V's first before I ask you that question. V, can you read V's
All
message?
right, had a first date with a British lad 5 weeks ago. He took me over dinner, then went out for a late night drive. We don't even know where to go. Haha, ikot-ikot lang kami around the city. Wow. And when we parked somewhere up the hill, we kissed, we smooched. All right, uh, it was hella
Yeah,
romantic. Take note,
momol,
the moon was
make out
full
lang.
and bright that night. Did he turn
Yeah.
into a werewolf or something? No, he did not.
Is his name Michael
But yeah, I mean,
Jackson?
making out, man, yeah, that's romantic. You just make out. I mean,
Yeah,
you
and
just
that's
like French
that's
kiss the whole
awesome that
night.
that's coming from a
That's just
girl.
awesome. I know,
That's
right?
awesome. It's coming from a
I mean,
girl.
it's isn't it liberating? Like these days, girls can just like
Yeah.
talk about it like it's
First
nothing,
date. First
right?
date they
First,
made
yeah,
out,
I
and
mean,
it's the girl kissing and telling. It's the other way.
exactly. Because
The British guy might
because
even
there's
deny
nothing
it.
wrong about it. There's nothing wrong about it.
There's nothing
Back
wrong.
in the
There's nothing
day,
wrong.
during
A
our
lot was
days,
wrong with it.
yes,
Yeah,
everybody would
back in
be
the day.
talking about
Yeah,
you. People would talk behind your
yeah.
back. People
Ikat
would,
yan, malandi
yeah,
yan.
yeah. They would call you names and whatnot, and everybody would know
Yeah,
you, and everybody would be lining up to have a date with you because they'd always
yeah,
they heard from your not from your friends, but from women as well. It's not just from men, but
yeah.
the women are actually the one ruining their own. You know what I'm saying? They're after
That's
their
true. That's
own,
true. They're
right?
meaner.
They're the one who's spreading
Guys are
they're
more
the,
discreet. Actually, guys are
exactly
more discreet.
the
Guys are more
women
discreet
or
when you
the
think about
girls
it.
are the ones actually spreading the rumors, and they
Yes,
they
yes,
talk about her like she's the biggest slut ever, and all she did was just
yes,
like kiss
yes.
someone, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh,
Kasi
you know
naiinggit
what
eh.
she did,
Small of
blah blah,
jealousy.
right? Exactly, because they can't do it
Yeah,
themselves. They try
yeah,
to they try to ruin the reputation of that somebody who has
yeah.
who has that you know that self confidence, and who has that what do you call this who has the balls really to do things on a first date, like this one, like just kissing.
Yeah.
We just, wow, the
Yeah.
mood was
Because
full and
times have
bright.
changed.
Like,
Times have
now,
changed.
I
Times have
wouldn't
changed.
care if the mood was
And
bright, or if it was
I
just like
mean,
gloomy, then I'd just like kiss and kiss, and that would be romantic for me. I don't care about the moon, I don't care about the sky.
yeah,
The kiss would, that's
yeah,
the only thing that would matter to me.
yeah,
What was your
yeah.
question
I
then,
mean, I'm
right
assuming
before
you
this
guys
one?
weren't like intoxicated or anything. Oh, the question was crap. Now I forgot. No, the question is the question was if when you go on full romantic mode, right, with a lady, like
Hmm.
ginaranahan mo, or took her out to dinner, formal dinner, you had a fancy date, whatever. Do you get a kick out of it? Do you is it, are you doing it for yourself too? Like you get excited about the whole affair, or it's strictly like I'm just gonna get it done and over with. I'm doing it for her. Or do you get a kick out of it too? I mean, what I'm saying is the whole ritual. I'm not talking about being with a girl. Of course, you love being with the girl. You're gonna get a kick out of that. But taking that out of the equation, that naturally you'll feel excited because you like the girl. I'm talking about just the ritual of it. You're
Well,
dressing up,
of
you're
course,
going to a
because
fancy restaurant.
yes, of course.
You get a kick out of it.
I mean,
Okay,
yes.
so it heightens it heightens
Up
the experience,
until
right?
if something terrible happens, you know what I'm saying? Like you're excited to do these things. You're looking forward to it. Then when that when you get to the point of reckoning, and the reaction
Yeah,
wasn't the one you expected from the
yeah,
person, then that's it all crumbles down. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I
yeah, yeah,
always
yeah.
get a kick for it. You try to do these things, you try to maneuver yourself into, like being romantic and being this, this attractive, um, what do you call this? Romantic, um, sensitive.
You're an
Uh,
old soul.
you know, yeah, I
you've
know, like
always
the
been
old fashioned
you're an
type
old
of
soul. You are. The
guy,
movies you
right? So
like,
because
the songs you listen
you
to,
think women likes that, or women like that, but then
but it works.
when you get that
But it
reaction,
works.
that like not that reaction that you've been expecting, like if it's a rejection rather than acceptance, it's just like terrible. You'd be like, oh crap, why did I do that? That was stupid.
Yeah, but
Like,
at least you were classy. At least you were classy. Like there's nothing that they can say negative about you. Like for example, for example, like
no, they
someone
could
like
say
me,
you're
like
paluy.
first.
Paluya to
No,
at
no,
the
no, no,
gato ng
no,
bulak.
man. I mean, okay, I'll tell you this. My wifey, um, our first date, our first date was at Gabby's. We were drinking. The first thing she saw about and found out about me was that I drank Red Horse, and I was with Joe Fisher at the time. And I ordered like sizzling bulalo. We were with Marvin. We were that I you know what? But I think that was the beauty of that relationship because that's the kind of woman she is. She's not the type who would she probably would have gotten turned off or creeped out if I had been too serious and formal and gave her flowers the first time I met her and all that crap and dressed up and tried to impress her. But no, I bought her to Gabby's because that was the nearest Inumanan to the station at the time. It was an afternoon. And I wasn't assuming that she didn't drink. She was just there. And then, but we found something in common because we were looking at some students from her alma mater, from San Pedro College at the time. And we were looking at someone who was still wearing their uniforms. And we were both talking about those students. And we were like, like Yoyosi. And we both don't smoke. Like she doesn't like smoking. I don't like smoking. And apparently I didn't even know that her ex, which she just broke up with at the time, was a smoker. So maybe that kind of helped, that highlighted an asset of mine that I didn't smoke. But
Mhm.
that kind of was our common ground. But the bottom line is, like, I put my worst foot forward, basically, because immediately she saw me drinking. Immediately she saw me with the bargada. Immediately she saw me hanging out at a sleazy place. Um, and I just let my guard down, and I think sometimes that's the way to filter out the type of relationships that would last because 90% of your life with people, when the longer you're together, you have your guard down. When you go out on a date and you put your best foot forward, you have your guard up. But that only happens maybe 10% of the time you'll ever be together. Because if you marry her, you're not always gonna be wearing nice clothes and brushing your teeth and gelling your hair, you know. And people can get used to that. And for me, I think I did that for so long because I had a previous relationship where I kind of have to put my guard up all the time. That I go to their house, I always had to be, if I had beer bottles in my car, I always had to hide them. If I came from a drinking spree with my friends and I would visit their house, I'd always have to spray my mouth with breath spray and all that stuff. I was so conscious about how I presented myself. I would go to their church and be there for 3 hours and always had to, brother, all that stuff. And that wasn't really me. I was like me putting my guard up the whole time. And it got exhausting. I did that for how many years? So if I had ended up with that type of a situation, that relationship for a lifetime, I would be so stressed every day. Because I literally, when my in-laws visit, I'd have my guard up. But with the woman I'm with, the very first date we went on, I had my guard down. So sometimes it's good to let them see your worst first and let them get over that and then save the best for
Well, here's
last,
the
right?
thing. Here's the
Rather
thing.
than,
I think
right?
there was just like something wrong with that other girl because that wasn't worse. You know what? Like, no, I'm just gonna say it out loud. I mean,
No, no,
she's
no,
probably
no, no,
like,
no. It would have worked if you were the guy. I think it would have worked because you would have been the guy who your
no,
music, your
probably
type.
not. Probably not.
Like I'm so
Probably
bugoy.
not.
I'm not.
Because
You're bugoy. You're bugoy. But I'm not saying you're not bugoy. You're more bugoy than me.
no, no, no.
But
Because
you're
like,
clean cut bugoy.
no. Here's the thing. Like, I think there's really something wrong with that person because, like, when you're saying like, oh, I had, like I had my guard up, and with Irish, it's like, I had my guard down. I showed the worst, dude. That's not
I did.
worse.
I did.
You were just at Gabby's. You were drinking. That's a normal thing to do. People do that. They drink.
You're
There's
right. You're
nothing
right.
wrong with it.
You're
My
right.
dad drinks. My uncle,
You're
they
right.
all drink,
You're right. You're good point.
right?
As,
Joe
as
drinks,
usual.
like Mao
As usual.
drinks. Me,
Iceman. Yeah.
I'm the weird guy who doesn't drink. Like everybody drinks. That's a normal thing,
But that's a good
right?
weird. That's a good weird.
Yeah,
See, I said
that's
if
well.
you
No,
if
I
it had been
mean,
you, it would have worked. If it was
no,
you,
because
it would have worked.
no, because I never want to be with people who are judgmental. I hate that too. Like even with my wife, like I
Even
like
though you have a lot of like stuff that you don't do, you don't judge, right? I think
yes,
that's the
yes,
different. Yeah,
and
right.
so with my wife as well, when we were not together, I was really trying to, to study her and get to know her, if she's, because I never wanted to be with a person who's so judgmental too, because I'm not judgmental. I don't want to judge people. And if I'm
Yeah,
with
yeah,
someone who
yeah,
judge people, that's terrible.
yeah,
Someone who chooses people, someone who would, pick who to talk to and who not to talk to, that pisses me off.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like, yeah, so even though I don't drink and I don't smoke, I never, like, all my friends did a lot of stupid shit. They drink, they smoke, some of them did drugs. I never judge them. I would never say like,
yeah.
oh, they're really bad people because they
They're
they do
still your
drugs. I'm
friends.
like, "Oh,
You just didn't
like they
do
do
that.
those
Yeah,
things. I'm
yeah,
just reminding them like, oh, this is against the law here. If you get caught, dude, that's like a big problem for you. But I
yeah,
never thought of them as like potential rapists or potential
yeah,
thieves or potential
yeah,
killers.
yeah,
I never thought of them as that. They were just like, these are the things they do, and I don't like. So that's why if like sometimes I even have like this problem with people like, oh, they can rapist, yeah, like, so I never like, no, I know a lot of my friends who did drugs. They never raped anyone. They never killed anyone. So like, so it's this is just like the this is just the context of me. I don't want to judge. So if I'm
yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
with a person who would be like judging you because you're drinking, like in the middle of the
yeah.
day, that's just like what, like, well, you can't drink now in the middle of the day. I mean, where
No,
are
no, no.
we
Because no,
like,
I think it was
are we
more of. I
Nazi
think it was
Germany
more
now?
of. I get. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I mean, it was more of like. It wasn't more of like
Dude, that was a
okay.
traumatic.
I put.
You know what? That was a traumatic experience for you, I think,
Yeah,
because
it
I
was.
because
It
I
was.
even felt it. Because okay, here's one of the memories I had
Yeah,
back in the day, right? This is what I have, and this I really can't forget this because we met at SM, and you were still with that other person. We met at
yeah, yeah, yeah,
SM, and I was just freshly broken up with the wifey because at that time we
yeah, yeah,
broke up, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
I saw you, then you introduced us, and I think that was the first time that we officially met or we officially
yeah,
got introduced. And the
yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
first words that came out of her mouth was like, ikaw kasi nag-chicks-chicks ka kaya naghiwalay. So I was just like, oh, there's something wrong with
She
this
said
person. I'm
that.
like, she said
Really?
that. You
I
don't
don't even
remember?
remember that
Those
anymore,
were
dude. I
those were the
don't
very first
remember.
words she said to me. Like,
Oh my
chicks-chicks ka kasi kaya solo
god.
kayo naghiwalay. So I was just like,
without knowing the
You don't
facts,
even,
right?
yeah, I know you don't even know me.
Yeah. Well, I don't
I mean, not because
remember.
I
No,
work
no,
in
no.
radio. So, but I was just like, I because
Are you, are
she was
you
your
sure
girlfriend at
I
that
didn't
time.
go? Are you sure I didn't go? "Ya, lagi, nagchiksik siya mga good.
No, 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 no. Because
Ikaw lumapit sa akin, baka
no,
maawa ko.
I think you were talking. I think you were talking to someone because we were at SM and like people were passing by. I think somebody passed
Yeah,
by
yeah,
and you
yeah,
kind of like talked to that person like a little bit. So I was like, I was stuck there with her, and I think there was like the sister was there. I'm not sure if the sister was there. So we were talking like
yeah,
there were like four of you, I think, or it could be the younger
yeah.
sister. I'm not, I can't recall,
It could be. It
but I
could be.
remember
Yeah.
her saying that. So I was just like, so I had that thing like, she's this girl, and then we
But that
went
was
through
the
that.
first time you guys spoke.
Yes, the very first time, and those were the
But
words
you
that came out of
see,
her mouth.
here's the thing. She always knew you. Like I remember, like every time we drive by a G Mall or somewhere, she would see you, and I would never see you fast enough. I wasn't working at the same station yet, but I just knew you as Chris Rock at the time, I think, or yeah, Chris Rock. You were Chris Rock at the time. And we passed, and I would always see a G Mall, and you would always be wearing a jacket or something. I don't know if you were the one wearing a jacket or the guy with you. Maybe that was a Master Yoda. And you guys always have your back turned, so I never really saw the face. And she would always say, "Ay, si ano yan, Chris Rock, blah 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 blah." She would always say that, like she would always point you out. Like if we were in the car, we would pass by. I'm like, I never get to see this guy's face because every time she points you, you have your back turned. You're going inside the mall already. So she knew you. So I don't know if she was listening because you guys have common friends. You guys are both like products of
Yeah,
Holy Chat
probably
and all
because
that
of
stuff.
that
So she knows a
that
lot
particular
about you. Your
classmate,
brothers,
like my
maybe.
batchmate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
because I think she's the
yeah,
ex girlfriend of one of my brother's batchmate. But
yeah.
then,
I
like I
think
said,
so.
we have never officially met. Like we have never been introduced ever. I know her
Yeah.
sister. I've
I
talked to her
just
sister so many
remember.
times, but we've never been
I don't know if
introduced.
maybe I don't know if you know the guy, but don't mention like any last names. But I just remember when I came into the picture, there's like a it was always about a Chinese guy because there was a Chinese guy who was like making a move on her. The guy's name was Patrick. I remember the name Patrick. The guy was
Right.
driving a pickup. So I don't know if that guy's your batchmate. I don't know if it's her batchmate. I don't know who that guy is, but I just
Uh,
remember there was this Chinese guy who was like she would always mention, she would always mention
Patrick.
people. I'm like for an introvert, for a girl who barely goes out, she sure knows a lot of guys.
I know,
So I
right?
mean,
I know, right?
I'm like,
That's the
well,
thing. That's
I
the
mean,
thing.
where do you hear this stuff? But then again, you should always mention. I'm like, I don't even know
For a
these people. Like, what are you
self-proclaimed
talking about?
introvert, you know a lot of
Yeah,
guys. For a
yeah.
self-proclaimed introvert.
I've seen you, Ed, E double D. Ed, the DJ.
Ed, the DJ. Yeah,
Ed. Like, I
Ed,
think Ed
Ed
used to
Double
call her or
D.
something. I don't know.
Ed.
Yeah, Ed. Like she knew Ed, E double
Holy
D. I'm she knew
crap!
Ed. I was like,
Holy
and
crap!
before I knew Ed, so it was like, I'm like, what the heck? And
See,
I'm the
because
radio guy.
that's the thing. So I think there's no. I mean, so probably we're just so traumatized from that relationship that you
Yeah,
thought that you were
but
actually
yeah,
showing your
but in
worst foot
fairness,
forward. But dude, there's nothing
in
worse about drinking. You know what
yeah,
I'm
you
saying?
see, you're bringing that up. See, that's the thing. It's like I don't necessarily think like I felt bad about being myself. I just felt like my wifey, who was my girlfriend, it was her first date. I just felt like she deserved better. She's like, yeah, she's. But my first impression of her was that she was kind of like immature and childish because the first time I met her was we were at the booth and she was there with Marvin for you. They visited you or something, and I walked
Right,
in, and you guys were laughing about some guy on Facebook or Friendster. I don't know who he was, but I remember you
Friendster.
guys, and I was just sitting there observing her, and she was laughing. I was saying, she's like, this girl's kind of immature. She's kind of. I always like the quiet type. I always like the demure type, and she was more of like she
So
was
you
talkative and
say.
playful.
So you
So I
say.
say, so words I ate right, but at the end of the day, I think you know when you talk about romance, guys are kind of mostly in the dark about it. Our idea of romance is what women want to be there. A woman's idea is of romance. So
I think
if right,
if you really like unpack it, like her being there that afternoon was kind of romantic because it's in the middle of the middle of the day, and you're with Joe, you're drinking. I mean, she
oh,
has
you
no
mean the
business
yeah,
being
yeah,
there that
yeah,
particular
yeah,
first not well date with Marvin and whatnot. So it
yeah.
was actually romantic to be there when you're just not.
Was
It wasn't even like a planned date where like it's cheesy or
and
whatever. It's just like a group hang, and she was there.
she never
She's
kicked me
she's
out.
stuck with you.
She
Exactly.
never kicked me out. Like she never came up with an excuse we have to go home. I just remember they had to go because they had to attend mass. And I was like, "Can I drive you
Yeah,
to
they do that.
church?"
Her and Marvin,
Yeah,
they
they
kind of
do
like
that.
do that often. Yeah, they
They
went
go
to
to church
they
every
usually go
afternoon.
to
They do the afternoon
Redemptorist,
mass.
Redemptorist,
Redemptorists,
right?
yes,
Yes,
yes.
I
So I
remember.
drove them there. I drove them there. So we went there,
Right,
and then their other friends were there. Janelle, all those their group, their
right,
church going
yeah,
friends. You know, that's it. You know all these. You met them before I did, so they all were there. And I reeked of Red Horse. So she said, "Why don't you join the mass with us?" And I was wearing shorts, I think, at the time. And I was like, "No, no, no, I'll just stay outside." So I took a monoblock chair and I stayed outside and they attended mass. And I said, I'll just wait for you. I'll drive you all home. So I
right,
waited. Joe, Joe does what Joe does, right? He just leaves and
right.
disappears.
Yeah, he just
So
disappears. That's his
I was
specialty.
in there. I waited for them to finish the mass. When they finished their mass, I was like, okay, so should we go home now? Do you guys need to go home? That's always my style. I was like, do you need to go home now? Do you need to go? And they said no. So we went to, I think it was Carl's Coffee, the one at
Right in Bohangin.
Select in Buhangin.
Yeah, in
In
Bohangin. Yes.
Buhangin, I took them there. So I was still smelling of Red Horse. I took both of them there. We
Right. Then
ordered
all of a
like
sudden,
dessert and
her
all.
friends started. Okay, just dessert. Nobody ordered Sun Mig Light or whatever.
No, no,
Nobody
no. It
from the
was just
group.
Marvin. No, I think it was just Marvin and her. And then yeah, so I don't know how she felt about that experience, but it felt like we were both into the moment that we, even if I had work at the time, I probably would have come up with an excuse not to go to work.
Right.
So it was, and I was just waiting for her to kick me out, like come up with an excuse, like, hey, I have to go home now. Hey, I have to do this thing. I have to. She didn't, you know. So she, every time I asked her, you have to go, she'd be like, no, we're okay. You want to go to it? Yeah, she's okay. So I guess she's probably like that with most of her friends. Like if she has a chance to go out, she'll go out. So I didn't take it as if like I'm being prioritized here. Like, okay, I have a chance because she was with me. Because no, because she was with her friends the whole time. Her friends were out also. So it wasn't like she was the only one going out of her way. And but that was a good kind of feeling going home. And I felt like, even though it wasn't the most romantic thing in the world, drinking Red Horse or Gabby's, and just for me, it felt better than like an awkward dinner at a formal restaurant with a girl who wouldn't touch her food and who wouldn't eat and who wouldn't respond to your questions. You know? Like, anong favorite ano mo? Ah, lang, kahit ano lang. Ma at pa. I'm pending for dinner here at Claude's and that's all I get.
See.
Alam mo ba ano makuha ko sa 3-5? Only pop. No, I'm kidding.
One pop.
I should have taken that route. Bulatik na eh. Waste of time. See, that's when you
Sigurado
suck
pa.
out all the romance,
Sigurado
right?
pa may pop.
That's when you take out all the romance in the room. Like all of a sudden, all the romance is gone.
Right.
But but see, you can't predict it. I think it has to come naturally. So even for girls, even for girls. But we always get pressured. I always feel like when you say romance, I always associate it with expense. I don't know why. Like I don't know why. I'm always like, oh, gusto ko romantic. Pag if a girl says a line like that, oh, gusto ko romantic. I always associate with like a trip to Paris, or an alfresco dinner in Europe somewhere,
You know what?
or
Up to now,
a reservation at a
good thing that
restaurant.
you brought that up, because yeah, most women would would say these things. What's romantic, um,
Yeah.
for you? Okay, and they would be like, oh, maybe go to the Eiffel Tower, go to Paris, have dinner somewhere along the streets of Italy and
Di
whatnot.
ba pwedeng bulkachong
Um,
lang?
although these things are of course very romantic, no question, but my wife would always bring it up from time to time. Like it's not even in the conversation, and it's in my head, but I don't really like talk about it a lot. But then she
Mm,
actually talks more about it than I do. She would say like, "Oh, the most romantic um, night we had, the most romantic dinner that we had was that when we didn't have any money. You remember that because you lost your job from working at Power 93. You lost your job
oh,
there,
really? Oh,
so
that's nice.
you didn't have any money anymore. And that was the time when my dad's business was actually going down. So I wasn't getting anything from anybody, or, because I didn't have work and I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
like a big allowance or whatever. So I can't have savings and whatnot. So I couldn't
Yeah.
afford to take her anywhere. It was our
Yeah, yeah.
anniversary. So what I did was I brought her
No mother
home.
baker for you. No mother baker,
No mother
right?
baker, nothing. I couldn't afford anything. Like, and we used to go to places like,
No
what was
goldies. No
that place?
goldies.
No, no,
Golden brown.
no
Golden
Goldies
brown.
anymore. There was the what was that place we talked about it? Patio
Sarumbangi.
Valencia. Like we would go to
Oh yeah,
Patio
yeah, Patio Valencia.
Valencia,
Yes, yes, yes,
Annie's.
yes. That's a,
We would go to
that's a
these
nice spot.
places, right?
Annie's.
We love to
Yes,
go
yes.
to Kuya Ed's. At that time was still a very nice place. Remember when Kuya Ed's
Magallanes,
was still, yeah, in
Magallanes,
Magallanes, when it was still
Magallanes. Yes,
new.
yes, yes,
The
yeah.
aircon
It's
was still like
the
it
buffet,
was
and
classy. Like you
I
see
think it was the only
those
buffet place.
chandeliers.
It was, it
Exactly,
was, it
right?
was, it was
It
nice.
was
It was
very
nice. Yeah,
classy at
Kuya
that
Ed's is
time.
nice.
So we would go to those places. I would take her to those places because we love to fine dine
Dang,
and whatnot.
man.
But then we didn't have any money anymore. So it's like, all right, let's just go home. Yeah, I had so
Yes,
much
yeah.
savings at that time
Annie's.
because like I work and I still get my allowance from my mom and dad because my mom and dad were like, all right, it's fine. You're still a kid. We're still gonna give you like allowance. The thing that like the money that you earn from your job, that's
Yeah,
yours. So that was
yeah,
like
yeah,
just
yeah,
for whatever I want to for
yeah,
myself. So I was like, all right, but then that was gone, and then my dad's business was not doing well, and my mom that wasn't doing anything at that time because Carice was still
yeah,
like really young. So
yeah,
I didn't have anything. And so I took her home. And what I did was I bought those, like cheap candles, those
yeah,
normal candela that you use for brownouts and whatnot. So
yeah, yeah,
I had like a dozen of those or two dozens, and I just like put it in, like in the dining room kitchen. I just like, like put
at
all
your
the
house.
candles there.
At your
Yes.
house.
And I asked one of my
Damn.
neighbors to cook something. It was like some sort of, because I have a neighbor who can cook pork chop, like
Yeah,
sort of like
yeah.
a pork steak. And he
Like
was like,
restaurant
you know
style,
what?
almost like restaurant
Yeah, yeah. I was
style.
like, all
Yeah.
right, I'll cook for you. Like, really? All right, okay. So he
Wow.
was like, okay. So he cooked for us. So yeah, I think I remember his name is Neil George Abinoa. All right. So he was my
Damn.
neighbor, and he cooked for me. And I was like, oh, we're coming. We're almost there. It was like he left through the back door,
Oh
and
my god.
we came in, and like all the I asked her to sit at the living room, and they started like um lighting the candles, and there we had our dinner with the pork steak, and
Dang, man.
like we just had it. And she was like so happy. She was like, oh, this is so romantic. I was like, oh really? I'm like, wow. Well, I try.
See,
That's
that's romantic. I mean,
that's what
I'm
I
a
told her.
guy
Like,
and
I try.
kinikilig ako, you know. No, but I mean, what I'm saying, no, I'm not kidding. Like, see, okay, that's the thing. It's like, I think that it's also in your blood. Like, you're a natural sucker for romance. I mean,
You have to,
you
because you
see,
don't have any money. You think if
no,
I
no,
have
no,
a
no,
Civic and
no,
I can afford to go to expensive places, I would be
no,
romantic? No way. I'd be
no,
like,
dude. I think,
come on, suck my
dude,
dick. I'd be,
no,
I'd be an asshole. I will be an asshole, man. If I have those, if I have the money, if I have the car, I'd be just like, come on, suck
no,
my
man.
dick.
I don't think you know what. I don't think you would be. I think there are just a lot of guys who are like that, you know. But I, I mean, it's like I think you are like you naturally are. Like even if the girl demands it or not, I think you will do it because that's why I asked you, do you get a kick out of it? And you said you do. You get a kick out of it, and it's for you. It's like we all have our like it's not like hilas moments, but we all have our not guilty pleasure too, but we all have our extravagance. We all have our extravagance. Me, my watches. That's the only extravagant thing about me. For you, it's those gestures. I think you don't really like have a lot of jewelry. You don't really like really spend a lot of money on cars and all that stuff. But when it comes to that, even when you had nothing, you exerted effort. Like I wouldn't even like, even if I had money, like I said, I would be the guy. Even if I had money, I probably would like, that's a waste of my expense. I'm always thinking about that stuff. And I think that's your extravagance. We all have our guilty extravagance. Some people, theirs is traveling. They save up all their money. Bahala nang naka-t-shirt lang at yun lang na-afford but they save up all their money to travel. Some people, it's jewelry. Some people it's property. Some people it's that. Your romantic gestures like bahala bahala wala akong pera, but we're not gonna be denied of this experience. I mean, I never did that, dude. Like, because I was always assuming that it's like corny and stuff, or like it's not me. But you know what? Sometimes, like, I would hear my wifey, like, sometimes you kind of like you don't do it because you think that it is what it is, and you assume that it's okay with a girl that you don't do it. Maybe it's okay because you don't do it and she has no choice. But maybe if I did it, because that's why like now I have a family and I have my kid. we still take time to like eat fancy dinners, you know, like not fancy, but like New Year's or Christmas, we always make it a point to dress up and go to either like Insular or now there's Dusit, you know. So that's kind of like our date, but we're with the kid already. So and it's a no, there's an occasion, but during Valentine's, um, it's not much of a big deal. So I don't think it's in my blood. Like I got it from my mom. Like my dad would be that type. Like my dad is exactly like you would do the stuff that you do. Like he'd make reservations probably at nice hotels, and you know he's that type of guy. But I just didn't get inherit that, you know. So for me, yun na nga, my idea of romantic is like subukan ka ng pizza while drinking beer. That's romantic enough for me, or a girl bringing me squid balls. But for my wifey, you know, I always assumed that she wasn't the sucker for romance, like romantic stuff. But you know what? You look at her history on Netflix, dude. You know, um, what's that parachute falling in North Korea thing? Korean novella. Finished that.
Mm-hmm.
She finished that. Um, she's watching another one now. That's Chesapeake something. It's also like a romance type thing. She read all the Grey's Anatomy books. I mean, I know it's sexual, but it's also kind of romantic and stuff. So there is that side to her, you know, and and maybe it's just like maybe I just kind of like mind conditioned her to like not think about that stuff. But now that she has her choice, she actually does have that romantic side. And sometimes we fail to ask. Like, do you have you ever asked your wifey or back then your girlfriend or whoever it was? Have you ever asked them like, what turns you on? Like, do couples even talk about that? Like, you know,
What do you mean turns you on? Like sexually or
what?
what? Like what turns you on? Well, big
I mean,
black dick. I'm like, what?
mature, mature, mature,
I pretend that you did not. I did not hear that.
mature, mature.
What turns you on at BBC? Like,
Bukake,
okay, I'll pretend that you
bukake,
didn't see that, and I'll try to
bukake.
completely forget about it. But
Oh
what
no,
are you
I'm just
talking about? Like, what turns you on? Like, what
no, no,
romantically? Like,
no. I mean, like my wifey would never ask me that question because she knows I'm sick in the head. You know, like I'm just a natural perv, and she would never ask me that because you know, like, oh, you really
turns
want to
you
know?
on?
I
Like,
think you know,
ooh.
but I never really like we don't really ask a woman that. You know, like what turns you on? Because you know what? If she's because I think she does. She tells us like if she does it when she watches a movie. You know, pag may kilig na scene, she'll like. But like I said, I always associate it with expense. Like if there's a scene in Paris and like you know, she'd always say, "Ganda dyan, babe. Ang ganda talaga." I'm like all of a sudden, I'm like, "Hindi masyadong ganda dyan." Because you know, 'cause, like I've been to Europe and I'm like, you go to Europe, you go to one city, you've seen them all. But because I'm associating it with like, you know, the effort and the expense that comes with it. But you know, she's not necessarily saying that we should go there. But maybe she's just saying just that feeling of that, like what you did, you know, you guys didn't have money, you didn't have money, but you exerted effort to buy the candles. You had a friend cook a steak dinner, pork chop dinner for you, you know, like it's the effort that you make that gave her that feeling that kind of brought her to that fancy restaurant, even if you didn't have the money to actually go to the fancy restaurant. And I think that's something that I miss, you know. That's the thing that I miss. I always associate it with like if she says, "Oh, I like the flowers," I'm immediately assuming she wants that expensive bouquet of flowers. No, not necessarily. Maybe she just wants a little flower. Or if she says she likes the ring, I'm assuming immediately she wants the 1 carat diamond ring. And maybe she doesn't. Maybe she just wants some sort of anything from me, you know, like. And I think that's what I missed out on. And that's for you. You don't miss out on those details, you know, like it comes naturally for you. And I kind of, like I said, I envy guys like that, guys with charisma, guys who see the romantic side. Like I talked to
Yeah, but I
Judge
lost
T.
that since my daughter came.
No, you did not lose it. You just had other
No, it's
priorities that came
like
before it.
seriously, because I always think of my daughter first, right?
Which
And
is
I tell
good.
her
You
that
should.
too. I tell her that like you don't have to think about me. Like just let's just think about our daughter because she's the most important thing in the world right now. And of
Look at my
course,
aunt.
Chloe, yeah,
Look
I
at my
read that.
aunt. Oh my
Chloe
god, my
is
aunt.
really romantic, dude. I
That's
watched
the one.
Chloe. You know what? I was the one who's
My auntie
okay.
Bless is watching
Here's
Korean
the thing. Here's
novella.
the thing. Right.
Really?
So yeah,
No
dude, come
way.
on. Like, did you watch it?
Oh, I've
Are
seen
you
like
crazy about it?
episodes
Because
of it,
I'm crazy about it.
but
I'm crazy about
No,
it.
I'm not crazy about it. Like I know I saw the episode of like this rich girl who like
I
landed and
can watch
like
it again,
like
like if you
and her
know,
family thought she was dead
because
or
it's so
something, right?
funny. Yeah.
But
And here's
but
the
that's the
thing.
only
Here's
one
the
I
thing.
got that far.
Because my wife got so, got so into it, and she's just like, "Oh, I can't wait to watch it." Like, like when she gets home, but the reality of it was, I was the one who actually watched it first. I was sitting on the couch and I was like giggling and laughing. She's like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, Just
See,
some Korean telenovela." He's like,
you're a sucker for romance,
she
man.
would be like walking to and fro, and she'd be like, what are you watching?" It's like,
This wasn't popular yet at the time. This wasn't like a
no, it
big
was
thing yet.
already
So you just like
no, it was already a popular thing. But I hate these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, Korean telenovelas. Nah, I'm not gonna watch it. Never in my life. I said
but
that to
this was the
myself.
first. This was the first one that you got hooked on.
No, this was already after 2 years. But then I always see it number one or number three, number four. It would, like it has that thing in like on
Yeah, yeah.
Netflix. Number
The rating, yeah,
four
yeah.
on
In
in Netflix
Japan or
Japan, whatever,
in yeah,
number
yeah,
four in
yeah.
Japan, blah blah. So I'm like, I'm like, what the heck is this? What the heck is this? I'm like, maybe I should watch it. Why is it number four? And it would be number 10. It would be number one again. So I'm like, maybe I should watch it. Maybe okay, I'll watch 10 minutes. And if
Yeah.
I don't like
It
it,
became
I
10
just like
hours.
then I started giggling. I'm like, oh. And then my wife's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, no, I'm just watching this. Like, what's that? Like, just some Korean telenovela. And then she would like, walk by again, and I'd be laughing. She'd be like, what is that? The crash landing on you, whatever. And she's like, all right. Then she sat for 5 minutes, and all of a sudden she was like,
Watched it.
why did you watch this without me? Like, all right. So we got stuck. So I
So
think
were
it
you
was by the
explaining it? Did you give her like a like like
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was
a
trying
kind
to
of a
explain it
summary
to
of what you
her,
missed
like,
out
yeah,
on?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
like the how it came about, how she ended up in North Korea and whatnot. So she didn't
Yeah.
see the first two episodes. So it was kind of like after we finished the whole, like the
Yeah.
whole series, season one, we
Yeah.
have to go back to see to episode one and episode two because of and it was like it was
How
a
many
part of.
seasons is it? How many seasons is it?
No, it's still like one season. Like I don't know if they're getting
Okay,
a
okay,
second season, but
okay.
it was
So, but
like
it
I think
ended.
it was
Like,
yeah,
there's
it ended.
closure. There's closure. Okay, but because I
So
mean,
it was kind of like, uh,
my wifey's partner in that, and I'm so glad that he's like that. Is my son Raj.
all right.
They even saw like this they finished the Wool series. Like I'm talking about this like I think it was an ABS-CBN or like a GMA series with Ian Veneracion and Bea Lucero Bea Alonso.
Bea Alonso,
Bea Lucero is a taekwondo, right?
yeah, the
Yeah, okay, okay.
the Olympian, right?
Bea Alonso. Bea Alonso, and yeah, they finished that. That's like four, I don't know how many episodes that is, but they talk about it. Like my son and my wifey and Crash Landing on You. My son's like always making references, like "Mama, this is the actor." And no, no. So I'm just glad that she has a male presence in the house, who you know allows her to sort of watch these things and accompany her, because my son is like that. Like I'd be playing a video game down here and he would go upstairs. I'll just check on mama because when the baby wasn't born yet at the time, so he would go up and I would know that he's stuck there because he's watching they're binging on a series and it's 100% romance. My wife doesn't watch anything else except for Money Heist and Kingdom, I think. This
Mm.
zombie Korean thing. I think it was
Yeah,
Korean or
I
Japanese.
watched
I don't know
that
what it is.
too.
Yeah, so those are the only two things they watch that is not like romance. So when he goes up there and doesn't come back down, I'm like, crap. He's trapped. He's watching these things with his mom.
But the
And
thing
at
with
first I tried to discourage him because it's
mhm,
feminine. But
what do
later
you mean
on I
feminine?
realized that
There are
I mean
men
like
involved in that
like
freaking
rom-com
telenovela.
stuff. I know, but
Yeah, there's
like you
like
have
a
a
guy
son,
there.
you
It's
kind
not
of
like
like don't.
all women in there. There are like guys in there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know. But I mean, it's not really something I would encourage my son to do. But I noticed that he actually enjoys it. Like he doesn't enjoy it like he gets killy. Like he just
Dude,
likes the
you know what?
storyline. Like he likes
Me,
the storyline.
I'm like um the least athletic in my family. All right. My brothers,
I used to still play
two of my
basketball.
brothers are like, they're like
Very
real, like
good.
they're hardcore athletes. They're
They
legit
are. They are.
athletes. Me, I'm just like a wannabe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I try to be like, I'm like, I try to tell myself not to be into these things. You know what I'm saying? Like these
Yeah. Yeah.
rom
Yeah.
com. You know
Yeah.
who's among us who's like into rom com, like really deep into rom com. The
Oh
guy
wait,
in
it was TJ
Canada.
Miko.
No, no,
Oh,
no,
him.
not him.
Yeah,
He's the
Aljan.
most
Yeah.
athletic. He had an experience with. I mean, he was he was a Palarong Pambansa delegate.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Did he do
he's
that?
like
He
a
does like
hardcore.
3-on-3 street ball, right?
Yeah,
He did.
he yeah.
Yeah.
They won. They were
And until
first
now,
runner
he
up.
plays competitive
Yeah,
basketball in
right.
Canada. Like they join
Exactly.
leagues there and stuff.
But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what he does? He binge on these things like Mr. Cupido. Those like those
Real okay. That's his. Okay, that's his guilty pleasure.
yeah.
That's his like
Every time
closet
like
thing.
okay, Mr. Cupido, what else? Those
Lihim ng
TGIF.
ermita. Lihim ng
Uh
ermita.
no,
Mga
no, no,
lihim
no,
ng
no, no.
ermita.
I think TGI was it TGIS? No,
TJS,
TGIS.
TJS, TJS,
Then there's like
TJS.
Katabing Ilog. And I
So
hated
he
these things.
and he
He
watched
would
those
be in
things.
front of yeah, and the
Game
Mula sa Puso, those telenovelas
really?
like at night.
Wow.
Christine Hermosa and Dieter Ocampo.
Uh,
He'd be there. He'd be like, and he would be like doing this, like
really?
he would be doing
Really?
this, like he'd be like,
Did you tell on his?
yeah.
Did he tell on his friends? Was he in denial? Like, did he deny it? Like, was he like, oh, we got Mandy.
Mandy
You don't
Vanilli.
remember
Who's
Mandy?
Mandy?
You don't
Mandy,
remember
Mandy, Mandy,
Mandy?
hey,
Come on, man. She's like with
Mandy.
CDO Kilo B, and then she went to Manila, and then
Ah,
she joined us
Mandy.
for.
Ah, yeah, right,
We had some
right. For
parties, and
yeah,
she joined us.
I think I already left.
Um,
Like I think I was just like visiting when
I don't know if
like
you guys
in
met, but she, she visited Davao several times. She attended some of our parties and with the CDO guys. CDO, right? Mandy, not Jansan. So I was assuming like, yeah, CDO. I think she's part of the CDO family. And then she went to Manila and
Mhm.
worked for Magic Manila, if I'm not mistaken, for a while. And I think she's still in radio now. And she did a lot of hosting. She's in Manila. She's based in Manila. Are you still based in Manila, Mandy? I have not seen you for the longest time. The last time I saw her was I think we had a party series or we had a party with the boys' night out at Auto Shop. I think that was the last time. I
Auto
remember.
shop, or was it
Yeah, yeah. It
the
was
other
with, it
one?
was with Boys Night Out. It was with Boys Night Out. It was the night
If
when
it was
Boys
a
Night Out were
BNO,
here.
then probably that would have been Star. Are you sure it wasn't with Star?
I don't think I ever met Iceman. Nice to meet you. Well,
No,
now
I don't think
you
so.
know
I
formally
I
introduce
think
you to
I
Iceman.
visited. Right,
Actually, it's a good thing,
right.
Mandy, that you didn't meet Iceman. You were spared.
What's that supposed to
If
mean?
you think we were bad, I mean, he's Iceman for
I'm the
crying out loud. I'm
worst.
only Rod, Yeah, yeah. No, no. I mean, it's never too late to meet. I think Mandy is still with yes, BNO. That's the reason I got transferred here. There you go. All right.
Right. So I think it was
So
Star
it
then,
was
because
with
Auto
BNO.
Shop, I was still in, I was still in
Dude,
Davao. I mean,
I
Auto
don't
Shop
even
disappeared while
remember
I was still
Auto
in,
Shop
Davao.
being turned into Star. Like I totally forgot that it had
No, it
another
was like okay,
name.
no, it was Auto Shop. It became then it disappeared. Then it became Urban whatever, like Urban
No, no, no. Urban Club's
Urban
different.
Club.
Urban Club's different.
Okay, there was
Urban
like
Club's
Urban
the one
Club,
on the other
and there was
side.
still
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Auto
Urban Club.
Shop, right? There was still Auto Shop. I would still like come home, and Auto Shop was still there. Then all of a sudden, it disappeared, like totally disappeared. I know Pops was still
Yeah.
there, but kind of like sort of
Became
disappeared.
Star?
Then
I don't remember.
Star was
Are you,
like,
sh-
like Star was just like there.
are you sure it
It
was
was.
Star?
I think it was that was the next big thing after Auto
Thanks,
Shop, I guess.
Mandy. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah. Yeah,
All
we're
right,
just,
so
we miss radio, so we have to do this. It's hard to leave radio. Like it's
yeah,
time
I
to
mean, if you're
get
still
out
in
of your
radio, good
system.
for you. Good for
Yeah, she's still on
you.
radio. Still on radio. But she's, Mandy, have you like gone into vlogging yet? Because everybody seems to be like doing that now. Like everyone's just vlogging. I'm thinking, but I just don't want to. The thing with
She
vlogging is
probably
like
doesn't have a
if
family, so she can do
no, no, no,
vlog.
no,
How can you
no, no,
how
because
can you vlog when you have a family? Not unless your
dude, it's
target
actually
market are
it's actually better.
like Ryan's target market. If you have the same target market, then you could probably do the same thing.
No,
You
it's
can
it's
vlog about
actually
toys. You
better.
can vlog about
No, it's
vacation
it,
spots
it's
for
better if
kids
you're
and whatnot.
single. I mean, not better, but probably easier because you're in control of
I know.
everything. She's
I've
okay.
been live
She's on
streaming on
Kumu.
Kumu,
That's
but
what
I
your
stopped
sister was telling me
then mini
about.
vlogs on
Kumu.
TikTok. All right.
So Kumu is like you make money, right? Like like that's what your sister was telling me about, like Kumu. I remember Reese was telling
Reese?
me about that.
All
She said
right.
like it's like you have your own spot. you have your own time slot and you do a show, and like I don't know what it is that you do, maybe you sing and dance, maybe you like do vlog, and then people will like watch and like they like donate to you or something. I've never tried it. I've heard about it. I have
Kumo.
not actually seen it
Then
because
if you
I
suck,
don't
they'd
know
be
where
like,
you
Kumo,
find it.
gusto ka?
I know it's like
You suck.
so
You
how
get my Kumo.
yeah, I think David does that. David does that. So I'll ask David about it if
Kumo
if
so.
if,
All
if
right,
our
that's
show
cool.
is worth doing a
Hmm.
Kumu thing on
All
it. I
right.
don't know if it's really even profitable. But anyways, um yep, you guys should bring this on Kumu. It's instant money. See? What are we doing here, man? Let's go to Kumu right now. I mean, instant
But then
money.
again, if we suck,
Kumu.
Kumo, gusto ka? Mm.
Yeah. No, but I mean, we'll come up with something. We'll come up with
All
something.
right,
Like
we'll
Lolo
check it
Gaming.
out.
We'll start playing ML. People will watch us. Like we'll just pretend like we know what we're doing, and we'll actually show a stream, and it's actually like Gab playing. Like not us. We'll
Oh,
just
ayan na, ayan na, ayan na.
oh look,
Okay, okay, okay.
ayan na. Oh mga guys, hey guys. Oh ayan na guys. Oh tatatalo ko na to guys. It's like instant money. I mean, what are we doing here talking about this stuff? Nobody cares about intelligent talk. People want like
Are you
senti
sure
stuff,
this is
and
intelligent talk? Trash
what's more
talk.
intelligent than freaking
More
playing
like it.
ML? Come
All right.
on.
Anyway, okay, let's get back to what were we talking
Okay,
about? Like,
hold
all
on.
right, I was talking about my brother, and it was like he
Hold on.
giggles a
Yeah,
lot.
go,
He'd
go,
be
go.
like, what?
Yeah. So you
Right?
watch his
He'd be
Twitch
like,
shows. Yeah, go.
you know. So it kind of just pisses me off because I walk in on him and he'd be like making these gestures and these he'd be giggling and it's just like that is so not
And
you know what I'm
he must
saying?
have been like what in high school then, right?
No, he was already in uni at that time.
Okay,
He
okay.
already came back from Palarong
And he
Pambansa or whatever. But he's been doing that for for the longest time. Like I think we were like yeah, when we were younger, like for sure. Like he likes to watch these things. And it's just like, see, that's the thing. So do not discourage your kid. Like what? No,
yeah.
it's
No,
not
no, no,
feminine. I
no.
mean, my
I don't
brother
I
is
don't
never feminine, but he loves to watch these things.
I
But
know.
then
That's
you
my
see him
my
on a
son's
court,
guilty
he's a
pleasure.
different beast out there.
Yeah, my son's that's his guilty pleasure, and I'm just glad that he does it because like I don't have the patience to sit through like a
Hey,
rom
hey,
com
hey, Mandy
series.
Vanilli's saying something. I know a streamer
Yeah.
agent. Let me know if you want to be signed. Yeah, we want to be signed.
Yes, we do. What are you talking about?
What are you kidding
We paid
me?
for these mics out of our own money. We need
Let me know.
sponsorships. For crying
Let
out
me know
loud.
if you want to be signed.
Yes,
Are you kidding me? What are you
that's see,
nuts?
that's what,
Of course we
dude.
want to be
That's
signed.
why life is not fair. You have to go to Manila to get hooked up with all these things. Like, I'm not saying if you go to Manila immediately it will be a sensation. Obviously, no, because the competition's
Dude,
crazy
here's the
there.
thing.
Everybody
Here's the
freaking,
thing, dude. I
But
would,
I'm just
I
saying.
would, I would love to trade with you right now. I mean, where you are right now with that grand piano, with that fireplace, with that nice living
I'm getting
room,
paid.
dude.
I'm getting paid. Look at
I
that. Look
know,
at that.
man. I mean,
Look at that.
oh crap.
You want me to
I
hook you up
know,
with furniture? This is
dude. You
Blimps,
got a
my friend.
G's, man.
Blimps.
You're living large.
Yeah, this is Blimps. Look at this. Man, Mandy, thank you. Hook me up. All right. Hook us up. Let me know. PM me whatever details are, whatever. All right. We'll take our clothes off. Iceman will show his nipples if he has to. We don't care. We have no shame at our
Da, da,
age.
da,
The
da,
the
da,
problem,
da.
we're getting bored. It's like if we're going crazy. We actually did this because we're like, okay, I'm jobless. Obviously the radio. I left the radio industry a couple years ago. Iceman is not jobless. He's safe and secure
Yeah,
with his
I
job
just
in
started
Japan,
having
getting
like
paid.
anxiety and
But he,
depression, so I really have to do something
yeah,
else.
but he's going nuts. So,
Yeah.
we kind of needed this outlet, but we're thinking, okay, maybe the first few episodes is kind of fun. But after a while, it's kind of like, okay, hold on, hold on. We have to make something out of this, like this has to be, I mean, all this effort that we're doing, we got to do something. So, anyway, hold on. So you're talking about your brother. He's a romantic, but he's still very manly. Like he's, not no
Yeah, so no
testosterone,
reason for you to
just
discourage
at
Raj
risk there.
from watching these things with your
I
wifey.
won't, I
I
won't, I
think it's
won't.
totally fine. It's
Okay, all right.
okay.
So you can be romantic without being like feminine. I mean, for guys out there who think their macho image might be affected. So my aunt Bless, who is based in the Bay Area in the US, says, I also watch Black Money on Love, Cara Para Ask, romantic Moroccan movie with mystery and suspense. Good looking actors too, who ended up getting married after the movie was done. A lot of my friends got hooked on this after I recommended it. So you have to understand.
Black Money
I
on
think
Love.
my yeah, you check that out. Maybe that's just on Netflix US, but it could be available on Netflix Japan, and because Netflix has different shows, kind of have certain shows exclusive to certain regions. So
All right. Okay.
it
I
could
would
be just a
recommend
US
this to
thing.
Tita Bliss. Check out the
Yeah,
chair. The chair. I
is
think
it Korean?
they finished their. No, no. It's the lead actor is Korean.
Okay.
Um,
Is it
Sandra
English
Oh. I'm not
or
sure.
subtitles or it's in English?
No, it's in English. It's in English.
It's
It's
an English
about,
series. Okay.
yeah, like this of Korean descent woman who just got in the position of like the chairperson of the English department of Pembroke University or whatever. So it was really funny. It was
Okay.
romantic. I think it's a rom com. So
Okay.
it's yeah, and she
So
adopted a
Blast,
kid
check
who's
that
like
out.
Mexican. Yeah,
The
it's really
chair,
funny.
right? The chair.
Yeah,
I mean, my aunt just, she retired like a year ago, and so obviously she was planning to travel a lot, and now she's stuck at home. So she's obviously
because of the
maximizing her
pandemic. Oh my
Netflix,
god!
yeah,
Right,
her Netflix subscription. She's putting
the
that to good
chair.
use. I also
Good.
recommend if you like rom coms, you like all these romantic lovey dovey series, is Breaking Bad. That's
Breaking Bad. It's a slow burn. It's a slow burn.
no, dude. The
Uh,
funny thing is,
Action,
I just started
suspense,
Breaking Bad. I mean,
disappointing
like,
thriller.
if I don't think my wifey would like. I think she would watch it a little bit with me, but I don't know. I think it's more of a
The
guy thing. It's
chair. I
more of
think
a
it's
guy
the
thing.
chair. The chair.
The chair.
The title is
All
the
right. All
chair.
right.
The
All
chair.
right. So,
Like chair.
what is the name again? Yeah, it is rom com Breaking Bad. It is a rom com. Remember when he was so stressed out, he needed to have two jobs, and then he discovered that he could cook math because he was like a chem teacher and all that stuff. So he found this former student of his to help him out with this thing, and he found out he was sick. He was terminally ill. So he's like, I have nothing to lose, and I need to make money because my wife's pregnant. And he was so stressed out, like he literally had like no sex life and whatever. And then when he started making all the money, all of a sudden all the stress was gone. Like all of a sudden his sex life was like crazy. So it's kind of romantic too, right? Like, I mean, are men like that? Like if we're stressed out, we totally like don't think about sex at all. And if we're like fulfilled and like, we have all this good stuff going on, we're like, you know,
It really
do you think
depends.
that's an
It really depends. I mean, sex never
or
leaves our
so
brain.
the more
It's
stressed
just
out
like
you are,
with
the hornier
like
you
with
are.
whom. It's like it's
Yeah,
more of like
you know,
with whom.
yeah.
It's like
Actually,
I'm
the
just
thing
being
is,
real here. If
I
you're
think the
asking
thing
me
with
like
guys is
I don't think sex leaves your head. It's just like with
no,
whom. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I think the thing here is, I think guys are stressed if there's no sex, right? Right?
What?
Guys are stressed when there's no sex. When there's no women are stressed when there's no romance. I think that's
I don't
kind
know.
of like
Probably.
right because like I don't
Could
know if
be.
like
Could
because like
be.
if it's a quick okay do women dig quickies? I don't think they dig quickies because I don't think they get anything out of it. It's a quickie.
Again.
Guys
Again, it
all
depends. It depends with whom.
dude, you think it matters as long as we get it all out, right? And we could be in the bathroom, having a relationship with our right hand, and we're fine. Women, on the other hand, they're not all women are wired that way. Some women, they need to smell a certain scent, they need to hear a certain, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like
Dude,
it's they're
we
not
just like talked about it like weeks ago. What was that Netflix drama again? That
uh
you said like, oh, maybe that's what's happening to your
sex,
sister. No, 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 like
sex life, sex life, sex life,
sex
sex
life,
life,
right? Yeah.
sex life.
So that was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah,
whole
sex life.
different thing because I think the woman there was already married. Then this guy from
Yeah,
the past
domesticated.
came
Yeah,
back
came
and
back.
boom, right?
Boom. This guy who like gave her the best sex of her life came back,
Exactly,
and she's
right?
already married to a guy who's like a nice dude. He's not. I mean, he's not like I'm not
Exactly.
saying that,
That's what I'm saying.
but
With
he's
whom? It's always with whom.
yeah. But see, I mean, what if she married that guy? You think they would still have that same level of like?
Well, she shouldn't. That's the whole point. It's a good thing that she didn't.
Because it's just sex. Okay.
No, I mean, because like if she ended up with that guy, it would be the same thing. After 10 years,
Okay.
it would be like it would
Okay.
be
This is
down a
like asking
shithole.
the
It would be
question:
like
what's more
stale and whatever.
important?
It would go
This is like
stale.
asking the question:
That's what happens.
what's how important is sex in marriage? Basically. Because I notice like with most people when they get married, like I have like my friends and we talk about it and guys talk
It's
and
important,
usually
but it's not
they'd
the
only
end
be
all
like,
and be all
oh,
though.
we got married, we don't have sex anymore. It's
I
like,
know that's what I
yeah,
that's why I tell people not to get married if they don't want to
no,
have
because
if they don't want to stop having sex. That's what I've been telling them. Don't get married if
no,
you don't want
because
to stop
it's
having sex.
always because you know you can
When
always
you get
have
married,
it.
it all stops.
I think it's like I think part of like the excitement of sex is like, that it's not always there. Like like it's not always there. But I mean, like if your girlfriend goes to her
Yeah, people will
house,
get
she
no.
has
You know what? People will get mad at me for saying this, but it's really true. It's like the ulam analogy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And people will get
yeah.
mad at me, but
Oh,
it's really
adobo.
true.
Even if
It's
it's
really
adobo,
true.
it's adobo.
Adobo, na stand. Like it's get mad at me all you want, but it's true. Like you eat that over
Yeah.
for the rest of your life, and this is
No
like,
matter how good the
man, come
dish
on.
is, if you eat it every
Yes,
day, okay.
yeah,
Now here's my
it's the
question.
same thing. It's the
Okay,
same thing.
here's my question. Is that a one-sided statement, or do
No, it's
women
no.
feel the same way?
I'm
Do
pretty sure
women
they
feel
feel the
the
same
same
thing
way?
too.
Do women
Yes, not
get
only
sick of the
yes,
same
I
sausage
believe
all
they
the
do.
time?
I believe.
Really? I mean, like,
What did you say? They eat sausage all the
sausage
time.
na
What,
sad.
did you say
Vienna
sausage?
sausage na naman. Vienna, ano bang Hungarian?
You said sausage. All right, okay. So you did actually
Vienna
said
sausage.
sausage. All right, okay.
Okay, Mandy says
So
no.
okay,
Mandy's
Mandy,
an
it's a no
outspoken
for
lady.
you.
She knows what.
Really?
Okay,
Okay, what's your
so what?
longest relationship? What's your longest
You,
relationship?
she's about to get
All right,
married.
okay. She's about to
You should
get
not listen to Iceman. He will talk you out of it.
Oh, you shouldn't have said that because you know
You
what?
should not talk to.
It's
He will
always
talk
my
you out of it.
mission. It is always
Yeah,
my mission to tell people who are not
I'm
yet
like happy.
in
Yeah,
my
I'm
side of
married.
the
I'm good.
fence to come and join us.
Yeah,
Like I would really
yeah,
stop you right there. Like
yeah.
think about it. Think about it long and hard.
Okay, Mandy,
Long and hard. I am not
listen
kidding.
to
Long
Kuya
and
to Kuya
hard.
Ice. Okay, here's the
Right?
thing.
Because
Here's the thing. I'm married. I'm okay, but you know what? Even I can't like dispute the guy. Like I cannot like. I mean, I can argue with him, but I get his point. Like I totally get his point. But it's just that I mean, what am I gonna do? Like, leave my family because he said like. But I mean, but I get him. Like I'm not gonna say like what he's saying is not true. Like he has his point. So, but I'm married and I'm okay. But for the people out there who still have a choice, I
yeah.
mean, I don't
Yeah.
know.
But
At
once you
least it's good for
crossed,
for you know.
yeah, once you cross the line and you're already with us at our side of the fence, then we'll support you. Whatever you're going through, whatever
Yeah.
happens to your marriage, whatever,
I
we'll
mean, what else
support
can
you.
we do, right?
We'll help you look at the positive side of it. But you're not yet there. I would just like try to stop you. Like, hey, think about it long
Mandy,
and hard
is it a
because
Mindanao
it's
guy or
really
a,
different.
a Luzon guy?
Yeah. And are you planning to
Yeah,
get
we would,
married
or
outside of the Philippines?
could be a
A country
foreigner. Is
where
it a
like you have divorce, or if you get, I mean, can't you just like wait until divorce is final? I mean, if they pass the divorce law, then you can probably like get married. But right now, Mandy, you're the woman here. You're the woman in this equation. It will
yeah?
be
I
yeah, you
mean,
you'll be on the losing side.
yeah. We don't. Okay, how old are you, Mandy? I'm assuming Mandy's. I mean, she's in her. I don't think she's 30 yet. How old are you, Mandy? Because she's Luzon guy. Oh man, Luzon guy. Come on.
They're getting married in December. A Luzon guy. Holy crap.
Yeah, you can have like
Oh yeah,
little
it's.
half
I mean,
Tagalog kids.
you still have time to change your mind. But like if you don't, then it's fine. You get married, whatever.
You know,
Get
here's what I
married.
noticed
Get
about
married. No
Luzon
problem.
guys. She's almost 30. Like I was right. She's not 30 yet. So here's the thing. Here's what I noticed about most Luzon guys. Most Luzon guys are kind of like softies, right? Like they're straight. They're straight. They're like real guys. But they have this kind of like, I don't know, sometimes the way they talk or the way they, like they're different. Like us, like Mindanao guys, and maybe even the Visayas guys, we're kind of like rough around the edges. But the Luzon guys, they have this cute kind of like, vibe to them. Most of
Okay,
them, like
where in
whenever
Luzon,
I'm
Mandy? Where in Luzon? Because Luzon is
sa city mismo, sa
sa
city
city
mismo,
mismo. NCR. Is he from the National Capital Region, like Metro Manila? What
Apari,
like
Apari, from Apari.
mula
That's like the
pare
part,
hanggang ulo?
Babuyan Islands. No, seriously, where is the guy from? Because it could be Batangueño, he could be
Hmm.
Ilocano, that's Luzon, right? He could be
Yeah.
Kapampangan, Bulaqueño, uh whatever. You could be with the guy right now. We don't want him to kick our asses, all right? I'm just saying, like Luzon guys are different, but
Right.
she's
Well,
been
yeah. Wait a
in
minute.
Manila
Are you
long
with
enough.
Are you with the
So
guy right now? Because if you're with the guy right now, I'm also going to say the same thing to the guy, dude. Think long and hard. I know maybe you think right now Mandy's a catch, but think
yeah,
long and hard.
yeah,
I'm
dude.
telling you.
You only know the Mandy in Manila. You don't know the Mandy in CDO or See,
I'm pretty sure she's a
people start
catch.
over
I
when they
mean,
go
you
to a
were a
different
catch.
place.
Irish was a
When
catch.
when
My wife was a
when
catch.
they go
I'm a
to a different
catch.
place, people change. Like Iceman, when he went to Japan, all of a sudden he became different. Like
What do you mean it
he
became
forgot
different?
that.
What do you mean it became different?
All of a sudden he became a teacher. Like, hey kids, good morning. Like the kids don't know what they're getting. Like they don't know that. Okay, feel
Okay,
sabi
Phil
ko na.
siya, but he's been raised in
Wala na,
Manila. I
dude.
do know he has a healthy
You know.
relationship with his feminine side. He was raised by women, right?
Yeah.
That's very good.
Hey,
That's very
I
good.
was
All right.
raised by strong women. I have
Right, right.
no feminine side. No, maybe I do. Maybe I do. Maybe I do have a feminine side, but not so much. But like I think feel siya. So okay. So he's literally half. So he's totally tisoy, young husband, brothers kind of look. I mean, totally like good looking. You're gonna have beautiful kids for sure.
All right.
See, that's
Cool.
the thing. Like Sam Milby, these guys have all the
Mm.
advantages. They could be like dumb as a rock, but if you're like half, damn man, it's like instant celebrity. Like like they don't have to do anything. They just have to stand there and look good. You know, I mean, they, that's why sometimes you don't. I mean, sometimes they don't have personalities because they don't have to develop it. But I'm pretty sure Mandy, knowing how outgoing and extroverted a girl she is, she probably will have better. Okay, Pinoy parents. She probably will have better chemistry with a guy who's a little bit more on the quiet side. I think. I think it kind of helps. Yeah, I mean, they can always migrate
Born in
and
the
move to the U.S.
USA.
Yeah. Okay,
Born.
Mandy, we had this argument before with Ice. Not argument, I didn't argue with him. I kind of sided with him, but Pinky was like, what makes you Pinoy, right? Um if you if let's say you were born in the US, raised in the US, even though you have Pinoy parents, and you literally didn't know much about the Philippines, you were raised there and all that stuff, are you still Pinoy? I mean, your citizenship is American, right? Your background is
Dude,
very American. Your
didn't you
upbringing is
read
American.
Philam siya, but he's been raised in Manila. So this guy's Filipino because he was raised in Manila. So no question.
Oh. Oh, di siya feel lang. Feel lang. Feel.
Phil, Phil lang.
Oh, no, but
American
born in
citizen,
the US.
but
But born in the US. Okay, okay.
born in
Hindi
the
siya feel
U.S. Yeah,
lang.
because if you're born in the U.S.,
Am
then
feel.
you're a U.S.
Am
citizen.
feel. You
I'm
are, you
Phil
are, you are.
because maybe
Am feel
moved to
siya, am feel.
Manila and was raised in Manila, so that means he's more of a Filipino than American because I mean he
Okay.
spent more
So
time in Manila.
okay. So you're okay, that's kind of strange, right? Like there's not very many people who are like that. Where like they were born in the States and they came back to the Philippines and grew up here. It's kind of like most of the time it's like if you're born there, you tend to kind of your parents tend to kind of like just stay there or raise you there. But I guess maybe they have like a family business here or something, or the parents decided to come back here, or he was sent here. Like I kind of like was sent back home because college was so expensive in the States, and I was living with my aunt my last year in high school, and my dad had to come home because of he was with the foreign service. So mine was different. But if you're like, I guess he's a citizen, so he can always go back to the States. Because I think it depends on how they're raised. Yeah, I mean, sure. That's a good. We never had that topic to Ice about what influences your personality more, your attitude, your who you are more. Is it your DNA or is it your environment? You know, no one should be able to invalidate your citizenship or your culture, except Iceman. Iceman
Except
will
Iceman, yeah.
invalidate.
I will invalidate that shit.
He will decide if you're Pinoy or not.
How
Ah,
many
he
times have
was.
you been in a Jeep? And if they say like I've never been, then get the fuck out of here. Like,
How many years have you lived in the Philippines? Yeah, well, 3 months. You're not Pinoy. He decides. But I mean, that's his opinion. It's a free country as far as I'm concerned. But anyways, I'm just saying, it's like, what, what has a stronger kind of like, if you like, if you look at yourself, what are you? Your way of thinking, your principle, your foundation as a person. Is it because of your environment or is it because of your DNA? And I think if you're a Filipino, born to Filipino parents, raised in the Philippines, I don't think you think much about that. I don't think there's much of a conflict there. But if
Okay,
let's
I
say
think
like
it's all right. Okay,
if you're Filipino, right? Let's say you're both your parents are Filipino, and then you were born and
Jalapeno.
raised in the U.S. Like you were born
Right,
and raised in the U.S. Now,
right. U.S., Canada,
when you
wherever. Yeah,
yeah, wherever, Japan, when you like your daughter, born and raised in Japan. So let's say you see snow like 15 years later, maybe not
right.
maybe when she's 18, and I see snow, and she was born and raised in Japan to both Filipino parents. Well, she does have Japanese blood because of her mom, but still, like not as much as the Filipino blood. So I'll
No, on
talk to her,
paper she is Filipino. On
and I
paper
okay, on
she's
paper she is
100%
okay.
Filipino.
So
Yeah.
so I see her and I talk to her, right? Now, I think I think even though Snow has like Filipino blood running through her veins, I think obviously she would speak in Japanese. I think her values will be more on Japanese side. I think because she was born and raised in Japan. So I think environment has a huge role in terms of
Yeah,
even not just the
I
way you
agree with you.
speak,
I
but
think
just the,
it's
even the way
environment.
you think, because it
Okay,
affected
if
me when I lived in the
mhm,
states. And I
exactly.
moved. I went to the states. I was already what 10,
You're
11 years old. I
whitewashed.
was like,
You're whitewashed. That's what
um,
you said. I know you didn't say that. I heard somebody
probably
said that.
my
Who's
sister. My sister was whitewashed. My
right?
my
And
sisters are
I work with
whitewashed.
this guy
Not to
who's
sound
Filipino.
racist or
He's
discriminatory.
Filipino. Like he really looks Filipino. Like if
Yeah, but
we
he's whitewashed.
stand side by side, you'd probably think that I'm the
He's
one
more
who's like
Pinoy.
born in
He's
America.
more
Yeah,
Pinoy.
he's
Yeah.
more like
Yeah, he looks more
you
Pinoy.
would think that he's from this place
Mukhang
in
natibo.
like
Mukhang natibo.
I didn't say that. I did not say that. Rod said that. But you know, this guy who worked in who actually worked in my company. So we work for the same company, and we met at one of our trainings. And I thought, dude, I looked at this guy. I'm like, oh, he's probably from, you know,
Yeah.
no offense
Yeah.
against these places like
Yeah. Yeah.
Gensan
Yeah.
or Digos, or probably from,
Baguio
wherever,
district.
Baguio district, or it could be
Yeah.
from Baguio, or I don't know, like
Katalunan pequeño.
somewhere outskirts, not even in the big city. So I was just like, all
Mindoro.
right, this guy,
Mindoro.
right? So maybe this is one of those um what do you call them, Japanese descendants
Provincial
who
guys.
came over and
Yeah.
whatever. But then he started speaking, so I was like, oh my god.
Japanese
So
guys.
he has that North American accent. So I'm like, all right, cool. Then I started talking to him, so I thought he's one of those guys who was born in the States, but then grew up in a, there's a big Filipino community, and he still
Yeah.
has that Pinoy vibe in him. But then he
Yeah.
just like started talking with those other people there who also looks like him, but they're like
Yeah.
really from, like they don't speak any Filipino except for that one guy who was born in
Yeah.
Olongapo City,
Yeah.
and like moved to the States when he was like in third grade. So that
Yeah.
guy could speak a little bit of Tagalog and whatever. But then that dude who I'm telling you about, he was like saying like, oh no, I'm whitewashed, blah blah blah. Like I don't know anything about my country. I was just like,
Philippines.
but I was like a little bit pissed because
Yeah.
you look more Filipino than I am, right? So I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but then he's the perfect example of he doesn't know anything. Like some
Yeah. Yeah.
people would
Yeah.
ask him about the Philippines, he was just like,
Yeah.
whitewatch,
Yeah.
and he would like say
Yeah.
he would say that,
But
I'm whitewash.
but it wasn't really like it wasn't put on like it wasn't
No, he
put
wasn't
on
put
like he was
on. I think
born he was
I
born
think,
and raised
yeah,
there, so he genuinely
yeah,
like
yeah.
really wasn't
It
exposed
was
to
just
it,
like I was just like shocked because I had different, I was just expecting something different, and that
yeah.
those came out of his mouth, and it was like really. But then I think he was legit. Like he was just like born there, and he just like
Yeah,
forgot
he was
about
born there.
Filipino
Yeah.
culture. Like he doesn't really
It's
know
it's
anything about Filipino
it's
culture.
kind of
Like
like the
totally,
difference between Pinoys who were raised in the East Coast and West Coast, because like I
probably.
think the whitewash is a term that most of the like the LA Pinoys use versus the East Coast Pinoys, because when my sister got married in LA, she got married in California, but we're all like from Virginia, right? We're all like from the DMV area, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, and then these are like predominantly whites, and the Asians there usually behave as whites. Like we don't have a strong Filipino community
So the
there. We
people
don't have
from
a
the east
strong
east side, yes, you're talking about
yeah
the
East
people who
Side,
are coming
yeah,
from the
yeah, New
East Coast, all right?
York, Massachusetts. Yeah, there are Pinoys
So
there, but it's not like
they're
there's a
whitewashed,
Jollibee there, or whatever. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
So at
you're
least
basically
back in the
whitewashed over
day,
there, right?
yeah, they're whitewashed back in the day. So when we when we went to the West Coast, when we went, to attend my sister's wedding, we have cousins there, obviously, and they've been in the U.S. longer than we have, but they still speak perfect Tagalog. They listen to Andrew E. They watch Tito Vic and Joey movies because it's readily available. Like I was like shocked. Like when I went to LA, I thought it was like, wow, am I back in the Philippines? Literally, like you hear people speaking Tagalog at Kmart. You literally like
Oh,
go to a video
it should
store. Yeah, it's like you hear it, like, oh, kumuha ka na tuwalya, ganyan, ganyan. I was like I don't hear that crap in the East Coast. Like even if they're Filipinos there, they're Filipinos, but they speak English. Like they speak like American English. But in LA, people don't even exert any effort to speak English. They literally like they just act like they're still in Manila. So like when I was there, it's like, you would hear them at Kmart. You would go to Ross, dress for less, and all the Filipinos are there because they're all buying pasalubongs or whatever. And my cousin, my uncle, brought me to a video rental store, and it was like small. And we walked in. I saw posters of Rene Kestas, and I saw posters of Alice Dixon. I didn't know these people because I wasn't around when they became big here. And they were like, "Oh, pumili ka, pick out a video." I'm like, I don't know any of these movies, so
So
I
you
picked
picked out
out
the
one
Alice
movie.
Dixon movie, right?
No, no, no. You know what I picked out? Batman and Robin with Joey De Leon and
Joey De
Rene
Leon.
Kestas. and 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 Robin was Kimpy De Leon, and the bad guy was Panchito, and he was Chupa Engwin. His name was Chupa
To
Engwin.
Penguin. I remember that. I remember that.
I was like, I totally got that humor too, and there was a part of me that loved it. Like, oh my gosh, like I'm in the Philippines, like the humor, everything's readily available, the food, but then again, it got old real quick. Like I missed the more laid back, quiet East Coast Pinoy life there because there it's like you're not Pinoy, you're just living in the US and you're not really caught up in the fact that you're Pinoy. In LA, you gotta be Pinoy. You gotta go like now you gotta go to Seafood City to buy your Pinoy food. You gotta go to Jollibee to buy your Chicken Joy. You gotta watch you gotta go to Dollar Eats to eat your isaw. It's like you never left the Philippines. And people there kind of like, and for me, it's like, why, what's the point of going to another country? I'm like, Philippines will always be home to me. I'm not in denial of that, but I went there at an age where it was easier for me to embrace the new culture because I was young. When you're young, it's easier for you. When you're older and you go to the States, mahirap na yun, right? It's like ingrained na sa'yo yung videoke, ingrained na sa'yo yung arbor, all that stuff. So it was kind of like, but anyways, yeah, Chupang. I remember I could never get
Penguin.
over that. It's like I'm like, oh, this is Pinoy humor right here. Like, also Pachita shows up, like, oh, si Chupaeng. You're like Chupaeng, but Chupaeng win. But Joey De Leon, he always has this double meaning, right?
Right. Yeah.
Uh, Batman and Robin. But anyway, yeah. Sukatan talaga of the strength of Pinoy community is if there's a Jollibee in the area. You know what? Funny thing is, in the East Coast, like my sister lives in Virginia Beach. When you talk about Virginia Beach, like I never thought they even had Filipinos there. Apparently, there are a lot of Filipinos there, but they never really popped up and showed up and made their presence felt and made let people know they're Pinoys until a Jollibee opened there. There's now
Right.
a Jollibee in Virginia Beach, and my sister's like, "Dang, all the Pinoys are here." So she met all these like Pinoy
Right.
people and made like new friends. But it's different because like if you're in the East Coast, you're
Everybody's
in
low key
denial.
until Jollibee came up.
Low, yeah,
Right.
everything's low key until Jollibee came. All of a sudden, tiksika na, but cutting lines. All of a
Bite
sudden,
the
the Pinoy
line,
behavior,
Jollibee, nandyan na ako. Panlasang Pilipino.
like everyone's buying like 10 buckets of chicken joy. I'm like, what the heck, man? I mean, they even have like the white people convinced because like I would see vlogs on YouTube of white people like they're going, we've been dying to check out this place because we see a long line every day. So they're curious because like
What's the
even
deal with
Popeyes are
with this
what's
with
the
this
why
this
everyone
food
coming out
chain?
with like
Buckets and buckets of
they're like,
chicken.
dude, don't worry about it. It's a Pinoy thing, like it doesn't concern you. All
Chicken
right,
joy.
it's a Pinoy thing. It's a Pinoy thing. Like peach mango pie. Wow, people in Philippines are
Oh
social.
man,
They have
dude,
peach
don't say
mango
that.
pie. We
I
have
miss
peach.
peach
We
mango
don't even
pie.
have peach in the Philippines. Why do we have
I
peach
know,
mango
right? I
pie?
know, I know. See,
We don't have
that
peach
occurred to me.
here.
Why don't we
Oh
have
my
peach mango pie
god.
here in Japan? I know they can get mango from Okinawa. I know that for a
I don't
fact.
know where
But
Jollibee
I
gets
don't
their
know
peach from,
why. I don't know why nobody came up with that
right?
idea. We always have apple pie here. There's apple pie. If you go to McDonald's, there's apple pie.
Yeah, it's
You go
apple pie.
to,
Yeah.
I think you go to. I think there's peach
Mango
pie.
pie.
So here's the thing. If you go
Why do we have
to
peach
Burger
mango
King,
pie? Why
there's
is it a
like a peach
Filipino
pie.
thing?
But there's no peach mango pie here. There's like an apple pie from McDonald's, and there's a peach pie from Burger King. And I think KFC they have this caramel pie and chocolate pie. I don't know if
But
they have
there's no peach
an
mango
apple
pie.
pie. There's no peach mango pie, dude. I love peach mango pie. Every time I go home, that's what I eat. I eat tons of it. Peach mango
Yeah, and
pie.
you burn your mouth all the time because it's so hot.
I know, right? But oh man, I mean,
Ay, sarap!
and and the
Kasi
jelly
usually I eat
and
big
the
mouth.
Jollibee hamburger. I love Jollibee hamburger.
Yeah.
Like if you make
See?
me choose between McDonald's and Jollibee, like I would go hamburger. I would go for Jollibee, right?
Yeah.
Hamburger
Yeah.
and chicken,
Yeah.
chicken joy, right? But fries, I go for McDonald's.
McDonald's. Yeah. McDonald's has the best fries. I think now here's the thing. I love Jollibee I love Jollibee too. I love the Jollibee's burger. My only issue with Jollibee is, dude, you eat one yum burger, you're burping that thing the whole freaking day, man. Like it's like you'll burp it like the next day, you'll still taste the yum burger. It's still it's still there. I think it's it just stays with you. So that's my only issue. It's like eating durian, pretty much, where it lingers. When you burp, you know what you had for lunch the day before. It's a yum burger because you can still taste it in your burp. And
Yumburger,
I don't know something about it. But anyways,
yumburger.
so we were talking about romance. Mandy, here's the thing. Thank you for tuning in. Congratulations on your engagement. I know he's a swell guy. You're actually getting married, um, at a decent age. You're
Don't,
almost 30. So
don't
if you want
do
kids,
not get
now's the
married.
time to do it. Now's the time to do it. My wifey got
No,
married at
do
23, I
not
think.
listen to Rod.
So, how old was your wifey when you got married, Ice? How old was she?
She was 28, I guess.
Oh,
She was
around
turning
Mandy's
28.
age.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
going
You
28. I
didn't
was
have
going 29, right?
Okay. So no issues with it. I mean, if you think you played the field, then you're good. Then you're good. I mean, but
All
always
right.
remember, you can't say
Okay.
you can't make guarantees about your married life because you're
But
not
don't tell
married
me I
yet.
didn't warn you.
Yeah. Well, talk to
I
us
gave
again
you a fair
after how many
warning.
years? After how many years? 7 years? The 7 year itch?
I would say about three above, like 3 years. After 3 years up, like we'll
Yeah.
talk.
Okay, my auntie Bless said, Rod,
Or
your grandpa said, I'll just read this. Your grandpa said that getting married and having a family was the best decision he made in life.
right. Take note.
Well, yeah,
Your
he
grandpa
said that in
said.
front of his family. Of course, he said that. I mean, I don't think my grandpa would say, you know what, you're the
Your
worst thing that ever happened
grandpa
to me.
said that. Your grandpa said that.
No. But I mean, yeah. Here's the thing. It's like my my memories of my Lolo has always been the thing with my Lolo is like I don't remember a bad memory. Like I don't have a bad memory of my Lolo. Like meaning bad memory like when he was mad or he was like no, it was always about good food. It was always about okay lang yan. Like he would always bring us to Merco. He would always turn the aircon on, even though my Lola would say malang electricity. My Lola
Right.
was always like he was such a great balance to my Lola because my Lola
Right.
was she was kuripot. She just wanted to eat home cooked meals.
Yeah. Somebody
She didn't
has
want
to
to have
be.
any. Yeah, and my Lola was like anything goes.
Right.
Like
Ah, it's okay. It's
so, as
okay.
kids, we remember that about him, and it stuck with me. And my Lola passed away. I was still at a young age, and my Lola was paralyzed for like a couple of
So
years.
right. So
So
I would say you're
you
like
know,
your grandma and you're like
I'm
your
like my
mother.
grandma.
Your grandma and your
No, no,
mother.
but
You're
no, but
never.
my mom was a lot like my
Hey,
Lolo
Raj. No,
too.
no, 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 no. No. What? What you need? Robux? Why you need Robux? No, you don't need Robux. You already had Robux
You know what?
yesterday. What are you
I'm
talking about?
I'm a confused mess. Like that's the thing. Like my ate, my eldest sister, her personality is so defined. She's a lot like my dad. She's a lot like my Lola Puring, my Lola from my father's side. She's
All right.
you
So are you
know
telling me that
she's
your
she's
sister's like way cooler? Like, all right, cool,
she's
whatever.
she's just it's easier to define her. Like she's my other
Are we talking about
sister, the
Maui
one who's
here? Are we
just
talking about Maui?
no. Maui is the one also who's just also defined. She's the life of the party. She's also very generous. She's also she's a contrast personality with my eldest sister Marcy. I'm the one who's a mess because I have this like I have a side who's like kind of careless and and like like a party guy, and like I like to have fun and I goof off a lot, but I also have a very like dark serious side that I keep to myself, and I'm also kind of like praning sometimes. And like you know it, people who watch the show, you think Iceman's praning, and then you hear me talk, and then Iceman tells me I'm praning. You know what I'm saying? So there is that
Right.
side to me too, but Iceman also knows the side of me where I've had a couple of sips of tequila, and transform into like all my problems are forgotten, But I'm the mess. My sisters are both, they both have very defined personalities. I'm a combination, a melting pot of my family's personalities, I think. So I have a little bit of my lolo, but I also have a little bit of my lola. I have this very kuripot side. I also have this side where like I'll pay a lot of money for like a watch, and that's my lolo side. My lola side would be
Right.
the side
So
where
when it
I
comes to
still
your
keep
like,
the plastic spoons and forks of McDonald's.
right, those things, yeah.
It's- that's
So
my lola side, yeah.
the okay, the Lola side. But then when it comes to your watches and your like games and whatnot,
That's
the
my
Lolo
lolo
side comes
side.
out.
Yeah.
Right.
My
Then
lolo,
when Raj asks for Robux, your grandma's side
my
comes out.
lola side.
Hey,
My
no,
lola
what
side.
are you talking about? No, give me that. No Robux for you. Always Robux. Yesterday you asked for Robux and now another
Dude,
Robux.
exactly. Like I actually feel so bad. It's like I don't, because I grew up like my dad wasn't there during my childhood. I'm actually thinking, crap, what if my son grows up and he wishes I wasn't around during his childhood? Like people be like,
Dude, that's a
I think
trade
life would
up.
have been
That
better
is
without
a
my dad.
trade up. What
I'm
you
so
said,
scared
your dad sends you a lot of nice toys. Like
to
growing up, you
compensate.
had all
To
these things.
compensate.
Yeah, to compensate.
Yeah.
My dad, he was
He
there
was always
all the
there, but he
time.
never got you anything.
Yeah, every time I ask for something like, pa, I want this. I want to have a particular toy, right? Pa, palitin ko
Yeah.
G.I. Joe. Sige, sige, sige. Sa'yo gusto? Kani si ano? Sige, palitan na. Bike lucky. And I never understood that. He would always say like,
Paglaki.
palitan na.
Para
Bike lucky.
manganak.
Exactly. And I would always buy it. Like I didn't understand what he was saying. I was like, all
Did you
right, my
ever
dad's
get a
gonna
G.I.
buy me.
Joe? Did you ever
No, I
get one?
never did. I never did. Dude, I never had a GI Joe. My auntie, she bought me a GI Joe. Like that
Yeah.
was the only GI Joe I had, but my dad never
Yeah,
gave me a GI Joe. Are you
my auntie
kidding me?
blessed too.
No.
I have to thank my auntie blessed because she was the one who was already like from as far as I remember, she was always working overseas, and she was always either in Manila or abroad. So she was the one who bought us the
Sending you
Atari.
stuff?
She
All
wa-
right,
she
yes.
was the one who brought us a Betamax. She was the
Hmm.
one she introduced so many things. Like she was the one that would stuff our stockings during Christmas. So like I have all these memories of my aunt, and like I would talk to my sisters, and I'm like, we're so thankful that she didn't have a family of her own. You know what I'm
Of
saying? We're like, we're
course.
so lucky. But I mean, it's kind of unfair for her too, because she should also have that. But we're there. We're her family because obviously our parents weren't really together, so she was like a mother figure. Like I practically
Right.
spent my high school life with her. So
Right.
it's like, and I think in a way, it's like kind of like sometimes you think you're deprived of something, but maybe it happened because you have another purpose, right? Right? Like maybe for some people, well, like we don't have kids, maybe you're not meant to have kids because maybe you have like, nephews and nieces or relatives that, are would be like they would need your presence in their lives or something. And I think,
Hmm.
like me, like I told my son, anak, you know, I don't really know what my higher purpose is, but obviously I'm not president and I am not an ambassador and I'm not a lawyer and I'm any of these great things. But maybe my purpose, my calling in this world is to bring you here to this world because you have the higher purpose. Like everybody gives credit to Rizal. Nobody gave credit to Rizal's dad. If not
Right.
for Rizal's
Whoever
dad,
whoever he is,
you know,
whoever he is.
whoever he is. But if not for Rizal's dad, we won't have Rizal. You know what I'm saying? Like if he didn't, he didn't do the deed with the mom. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like we know about Rizal's mom because he's mentioned a lot. She's mentioned a lot. But the dad, see, like okay, sure, maybe Rizal's dad was
Maybe the
just
dad
let's
was
say
an
regular,
absentee father too. That's why he's not mentioned in any of the result stories. We don't know
and
that.
he had issues. That's why he studied hard, and like he's like, I'm gonna prove
Exactly. That's why
something.
he's a straight
He
A
had a
student.
he had a chip on his shoulder. He's like, "Man, I'm gonna be better than
Yes,
my
that could be
dad.
the
Like
case.
I'm gonna be better
Right.
than
So
my
we
dad. Yeah, he
don't
was better than his
know.
dad. He was a womanizer.
Right. Well, Rizal was a
Rizal had like
womanizer as
50
well.
girlfriends. Yeah. He knows what I'm saying. It's like,
But that's the
Yeah, yeah.
thing. That's the thing. It
No,
has a good
we're
effect too
not
on
making fun
people.
of Rizal,
All
okay?
right.
Rizal is a hero. We respect him. I'm just saying, like nobody gives credit to his dad. You know, I
And
mean,
that's what I'm saying.
right?
Like, okay, it's yeah. There's a trade off. I mean, that's the law of compensation, right? You didn't have your
Yeah,
dad, but you always had those nice toys. You get to go to nice places, for vacations and whatnot. Then Raj
I
has you
did, yeah.
24/7. Like you're
But I
you
don't
are
allow him to do anything.
you're
Don't
always in
preach.
his face.
Don't preach.
You're always in his face. In your face, Raj. No, you can't do that shit. No, no,
I know what you're
no.
thinking. I know what you're thinking. He's like,
10 minutes, 15 minutes in the toilet, and you'd be like banging it or like boom, 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 boom. Hey, what are you doing, Raj? Dad, I'm pooping. Are you sure? Are you sure? Can you open the door?
you're too young to masturbate.
I mean, you're yeah, you're all over
I
him.
know. Okay, okay,
That's
okay.
the
Maybe I'm
trade-off
glad my
right
dad
there.
wasn't around.
I mean,
Okay,
can you ask him? Can you ask him like, Raj, which do you like? You want to get all the Robux in the world, and I'm not here, or do you want me to be here, but you can't have,
That's an easy answer for him.
like
That's
most
an
of the
easy
things that
answer.
you want?
That's an easy answer for him. That's an easy answer for him.
Yeah, Raj would be like, Dad, there's the door. It's wide open.
Where
You
are
can
you,
leave
Dad?
anytime you want.
Where are you? I don't see you. Check my Robux. You know, I mean, he's taking a nap right now. He's right beside me. You see, the thing with my son is, we argue a lot, and I always like I'm the KJ to
I,
him. Like I always like bring out the
I know.
negative. He
Okay,
watches
here's
the
the thing.
video. I'm always
We both have anxieties in what though
with
in
children,
like
with being
yeah,
parents.
yeah, as being parents and we have anxieties and whatnot, though it manifests in a different way. But here's something for us before we wrap things up, right? Okay. Like this is like a really good point to ponder. All right. Hang on. Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna share this so that we can see it
We can
at the
you can
same
make this a
time.
regular thing. Thoughts to ponder. Okay,
All right.
is this a quote?
Here is it. Yeah, it's a quote. There you go.
Okay, let's see.
There.
Okay, I've
Can you
got
read it?
99 problems. Yeah, 99 I've got 99 problems, and 86 of them are completely made up scenarios in my head that I'm stressing about for absolutely no logical reason.
All right. So see.
What's at the bottom? Anxiety quotes. Okay, so yeah, I have to agree with that. I have to agree with that. 99 problems, and 86 of them, maybe even 98 of them, are fabricated or overblown negative
Yes.
thoughts. Overblown negative thoughts. But I is that healthy? Is it health?
No,
Okay,
it is not healthy. It is not healthy.
it's not. It's not
Like what
healthy.
we're
It's
going
proven that
through,
it's not
like you and
healthy.
me, it is not healthy. Like we think
Okay.
that like being a worrier is a good thing, but no, it can probably have like um a negative effect on you mentally, then
And the
physically
people
at some
around
point,
you, and the, and,
and the
and the
people
people
around you.
around you. Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it was healthy to be worrying
I thought
about
it was
things
healthy too,
constantly.
because you're ahead, right? You're
Because
thinking ahead, right?
yeah, that's what I said to myself. Like I'm always 10 steps ahead, whatever I'm thinking about. But it's actually overthinking. And if you get stuck in a certain thought, that's where the problem starts. When you get stuck at like a
Dude,
particular like um
man, I
thought
think it was
that
Tia.
it's hard to let go.
I
But
I
then if you
think it
think
was
about it,
Tia.
it doesn't really make sense. But then it's like, oh my god, because we worry a
But you
lot, and
can't help it.
yeah, because we say to ourselves, if we worry, that means we're doing something about it. That's what we always tell ourselves. Like,
But
oh,
we're not.
I'm yeah, but we're actually
I'm
doing
worrying.
nothing
We're
about it.
not.
We're just making it
Yeah. Worse.
more. Yeah, we're making it worse, and I mean, we're not
I,
doing
dude,
anything
dude,
about
you
it.
know what?
We're not solving
I
it.
didn't realize that these ticks really existed. Like I thought it was like it was just my issue, or that it's not an issue. It's just something that I until I saw like I remember TLC, the cable channel TLC, the
Right.
lifestyle channel. I think that's what TLC is, the lifestyle channel. But I was watching
Mhm.
TLC, and they had a special on people with like OCD problems. And there are
Right.
people who like they have to turn the knob 3 times before they open it, and they have to,
Right.
like with me, dude. Like I remember, like I would have to do the sign of the cross like same number of times as the people living in my house.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
but if I don't do it, like something bad will happen. And then eventually, like I
Exactly.
said to myself, like I have to break this thing because,
You have
like,
to.
it's why am I doing it? Why am I putting my
Yes.
beliefs or the fate of my family and like how many times I do the sign of the cross? So
Yeah.
I just
It's
would do
just in
like
your head.
one sign of the cross,
It's just in your
and
head.
nothing happened. But
Yeah.
like I have this thing and I didn't realize that it's actually an issue. Like it is a problem that some people have. Like it's a tick. Like it's because and it becomes a habit. And if you tolerate it, dude, it gets worse.
Because the
So
wiring of your brain, because like that's why they say, like, I'm reading this book, like they have to rewire your brain. So when you're reading this CBT, you know
the
what
book
do
you
you call that,
suggested to me,
yeah, it's a CBT. What do you what's a behavioral therapy? It's cognitive behavioral therapy. The point of these therapy is to rewire your brain, because your brain, kind of function in a certain way, and you have to break it. You have to rewire it so as to
same
not
with
be
hoarders,
anxious
right?
all the time.
Same with
Yes,
hoarders. Like
same
people
with
who hoard,
yeah,
they're always
yes, those who
thinking,
hoard.
I'm gonna save this because I'm gonna use it for later. And they
Yes,
realize they have 50 million of it that it's expired or that it's rotten, that whatever, and they never
yes,
really got to use it. They just have
exactly.
this thought that they might use it. And sometimes I have to overcome that. I remember, like, those plastic microwavable reusable containers that you get from, like, when you order food out and
Mhm.
stuff. Dude, I started saving that stuff. I mean, we started saving those ice cream tubs, and we just realized we had so many of it. We weren't even using these things. So I'm like, one day I just said, F it. I'm just gonna throw everything. So, like, I cleaned out and I just threw everything. And it was such a relief. It was like there's more space in the house. And I know that we're gonna acquire more of this stuff. So it's like this show on cable, right? Or maybe Netflix. This, if it doesn't bring you joy anymore, you throw it. Who's this, like, Japanese girl who, like, hosts that
Maria
show? I
Kondo.
think she's
Marie Kondo.
yeah.
Marie
Is
Kondo.
she, is she Japanese? Is
Marie
she
Kondo.
Japanese?
She's Japanese. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It's like my wifey watched that, and it's like if it doesn't bring you joy, get rid of it. Whether it's clothes, whether it's
Yes.
and you
Clothes.
will, like, have weight off your shoulders, like
Yes.
it's a
It's
weight off your
decluttering.
shoulders.
Declutter.
Declutter. Declutter your mind, declutter. And I noticed, like, if you look at my house, it's so cluttered. And I'm just looking at it, I'm
What are you
thinking,
talking about? Your grand piano, your sofa's like, well,
my
you
real
have a
house,
nice
my
house.
real house,
I
my real
realize
house.
your real
This
house.
is my
Sorry.
this is my imaginary house.
Oh, your
And
imaginary
when I do
house.
the
All
show,
right.
I
Sorry.
live here so that I have sanity. But you want to see my real house? There's my real house. Okay, I'm gonna show. But anyway, I'm just saying, it's like I look at it, it's like, oh my god, we're so cluttered. We're so
You
deprived of
need to
space.
declutter. Hmm.
So
Well,
imagine,
who's hoarding? Are you
if,
hoarding?
dude, it's we have a really small house. Plus, we still have stuff from, like, the old house. Like, we didn't
Do you
move in
need it?
here with nothing. No, there's always that sentimental value thing going on. There's always that, like, sayang naman if you throw it, because back in the day,
Now I
maybe they
just
meant
throw stuff
something.
now, like,
I know, it's like you have to throw
because you have to
stuff. It's
declutter.
like it's like holding on to people in your life that you don't need. It's like holding on to a memory that
Exactly.
doesn't serve a purpose.
Yeah.
And I think I think it's a hereditary thing because
You
my
can take a
family's
picture of
always
it
been like
now
that.
with the technology and whatnot. If it really means something to you, but you don't really need it and you don't use it that often, just take a picture of it. Like that's what I did with my Doc Marten shoes. It was like I.
Took
When
a
was the
picture
last?
and threw it away, and you look
Yeah,
at it, go, oh God, why did I throw this away?
because it was like, when was the last time I used it? What, 6, 7 years ago? I have not used that shoe, but it's still in, like it's taking space, and I'm buying shoes all the time. I'm buying shoes, and
I
I have
know,
nowhere
and
to put them.
exactly. We're
That's why I have to
always
throw them away. So I just like took a picture and threw it
unless
away.
unless you can honestly tell yourself, I'm done with accumulating anything. I'm not buying anything anymore. Okay, hold on to the stuff you've got because that's the last clothing you'll ever own and that's the last pair
No,
of
but
shoes
that's
ever.
not gonna
But
happen. I
if
said
you
that to
know you're
myself
gonna
like
buy more stuff,
10 shoes ago. That's what I
throw.
said. 10
Yeah,
shoes ago. I said that to
that's
myself
why.
10 shoes ago. This is the
That's
last
why,
basketball shoe I'm ever gonna buy.
that, dude. That's why in the U.S. they have spring cleaning. That's why in Western in other countries they
I
throw away
know.
stuff because they're gonna update their TV. They're gonna upgrade their computer. They
I
throw
know,
stuff.
right? I just got
But
myself the Harden Volume 7. I know, Harden
so
Volume
nice.
4.
Which
Was it
colorway?
Volume
Which
5?
colorway? Which colorway?
The
Was it the white
Five
one? Was it
Generals, no,
the
no, the Five Generals colorway. And now I'm busy looking at the Jordan 36 now. And I just got myself the LeBron 18. And now I'm
Oh
looking
my
at Jordan
god.
36, but I'm like, I'm not supposed to get this. But I'm like, all right. But every now and then I find myself like, oh, Jordan 36, Jordan 36, waiting for the review, waiting for the performance review. And I've told
See,
myself, like, oh,
you
this is the last shoe. This is the
you're
last
just
shoe.
prolonging it. You're gonna buy that thing, dude. For the longest time, here's the thing. For the longest
So
time, I've been looking at Yeezys,
This
right? Like
doesn't
I've
help.
always
Do
like
not. All right.
that's
Okay.
my frustration because I've never owned Yeezys, and all my friends have Yeezys, and I'm like, I can afford Yeezys, I can find a cheap
Right. Why
pair,
you not?
and
Well, why
my
don't you get
my
a
friends own.
Yeezy?
See, that's the thing. It's like, why don't I just get a
Get a
Yeezy? And
Yeezy.
I had that
Me, I
opportunity
don't
one
have that.
time.
You know,
Do
I
you have a
like
Yeezy?
NMDs. No, I don't because I
Okay,
never wanted to have a Yeezy.
you're not a
But
fan.
basketball
You don't
shoes,
like it,
they
right?
yeah, it's all basketball shoes for me.
Yeah,
But you
yeah. I
want a
mean, I'm not
Yeezy,
really
just
like.
get the
It's not.
Yeezy. Get the damn
It's not a
Yeezy.
must. It's not a must own. Like I don't have to have it. Like like
All
I don't
right.
go out that much. We don't go clubbing anymore. We don't really do anything. So it's not pointless for me to own a shoe that's kind of showy. But we went to my wifey's friend. She has a shop. It's called C's
Mhm.
Finds, and shout out to Cindy. She owns it. And she sells like all these like
How
authentic
much is
imported
it?
stuff. And she had a pair.
Right.
It's quite pricey, man. It's probably like around the price of your hi Raj. Good morning. It's probably around the good morning, good evening. It's probably around the price of the shoes that you buy. So, for me, I don't normally buy shoes that much because I don't really play basketball. I don't really like, but anyway, I like my wife is like, okay, cool, go ahead and get it. You've always wanted a pair. You've always wanted a pair. And I tried it on and it felt so comfortable. I mean, I own a pair of Pure Boost, so I'm fine. But I know how it feels and it's super comfortable.
Holy crap! Are
Like
you kidding me?
what?
Which one is it? Which one are we talking about here? Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2, or is it like what? Like the V2
But it's
Israfel? Because it really
I
depends.
don't. It's not like I don't know what model it is, but it's a Yeezy. It's one of the newer ones. So they're expensive.
Dude, they're expensive. What are you talking
They
about? Like,
are
no,
the limited ones are super expensive. But like I said, I didn't buy
two
it.
hundred
Like I
twenty
didn't like.
dollars. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
ex-
it's like a
yeah,
Jordan,
like
like
your shoes. I know
like a Jordan.
exactly
Yeah,
what I'm talking about. What are you
dude, I
talking
buy
about,
them on
crazy guy?
sale. I buy them on sale.
You're
They're
like,
on
yeah, it's
sale.
expensive. Oh, hold up,
No,
that's the same price as my shoe,
no, 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 no.
dude.
Okay,
Same thing with
at least
Yeezys.
I got it
They
like
put
on
those on
sale.
sale. Yeah, I know. But what
Do
I'm
they go
saying
on
is,
sale? I don't think they go on
but
sale.
They
The
do, they
Yeezys
do. I
go on
think,
sale? Really?
but the problem with these is the ones that are no longer available are the ones that become more expensive. It's like
Right.
the outdated models become harder to get, so they become more expensive. And those are the ones I want. I want the older model Yeezys. I don't want the newer ones. But anyways, so I did have the opportunity. It was my size. It was the only pair they had at the store. My wife gave me the approval. I mean, she was even willing to pay for it. But you know what? Like, then I'd start thinking, how many diapers can this buy? How many, you know, boxes of milk for Jago? I start thinking about that stuff, and I'm like, and then I'm just gonna buy a pair of shoes that I don't even because I have shoes that I don't even wear anymore because I barely go out, and it's like it's something that I kind of like let go of.
Holy
So
crap.
now I'm at peace. Like I don't think I'm ever gonna buy a pair of Yeezys unless somebody give me a pair of Yeezys as a gift. I don't think it's something that I would ever like aspire to buy anymore because
I
I'd
would wait
rather
until they go
buy.
on sale. I will not buy this at
But they're super
30,000 yen. Are you
comfortable.
kidding
They're
me?
super
Dude,
comfortable,
NMDs
dude.
are comfortable.
I know, I
And I got
know.
them
I
for
don't own
5,000 yen.
MNDs. I don't own NMDs.
30,800.
I don't
In
own
Japan, it's
NMDs.
30,800. It's more than a Jordan. 30,800 yen.
But
The
dude,
NMDs that I get,
Jap-
they're like boost. There's like I can get them for 4,000 yen. They used to
Japan,
be
dude,
expensive,
Japan,
yeah? They used to be
Japan has
expensive,
super
NMDs.
limited Yeezys. There's
Doesn't
super
matter.
limited Yeezys that are only released in Japan. Japan has a strong sneaker culture. Japan has a lot of artists, sneaker artists, that they make their own designs and paint
Ah,
stuff. And dude,
Yeezy, it's
there's
just
this
for
one.
walking, man. Come on. It's not
I
like
know
you
it's not even
can,
for basketball.
right? So
No,
I'm
I'm
like,
done. I'm done. I'm not. I'm not. It's just one of those things that I thought like I wanted, but now I realize I don't because like I look at my children, and I'm like,
look at my
they bring me so
children
much
and
joy.
I'm going to buy them Yeezys.
Dude, you know what? That sounds so weird now for me saying children because for the longest time I thought I was only gonna have one child, and now I'm saying children. Like, dang, like
And then look
I
at
have
my
children.
children.
I have children.
You little piece of shits. Now I can't buy my Yeezy.
I'll take it out on you. No Robux.
No Robux.
Diapers, you don't need them. Milk, it's milk made for you.
Magdusa ka.
Liberty ito.
Magdusa.
Oh, nice. Yeah, for PS5. Nice. See, like
I
I'm
think
talking to my son here.
I
Like,
think at some point I'm gonna have your problem because Snow was kind of like, Papa, what's this? She was playing with this Barbie game, and I didn't realize that you know, like they have like that sort of like thing that you purchase
You can,
to make
yeah,
the house
to
whatever.
upgrade.
Crap.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She was just like, Papa, I want to do this with it. I'm like, oh, crap,
And,
man. I was just like,
and you
hey, just
can't say no to them.
no,
You
no.
can't say
I said no
no.
today.
No,
No,
no, no.
and I said, turn off the Wi-Fi. Turn off the Wi-Fi when you're playing the games, so you can't purchase anything.
Dude,
And she's
you,
still
you know what?
gullible. She's still gullible, so she turned
You
it
know what
off.
I do? You know what I do, and why I get Raj, like, Robux or whatever, because we don't go to toy stores anymore. Before, I used to bring
Right,
him to a toy store and I buy him something that's 50 pesos or 100 pesos, nothing fancy,
right,
nothing big, like just a little thing that you can play with for a while and you get sick of, and then I won't feel bad if he like doesn't play with it anymore because it's only
right.
like 50 pesos, right? So whenever he shows me like these things that I know he'll eventually, like, not play with anymore or care about, like these items that you can buy for your games, I always compute. And if it's like, okay, if it's like $2, like $1.99, that's like 100 pesos. Okay, I can get you that because like I said, I don't buy him anything anymore outside of food and any school stuff, because we don't go to toy stores anymore. We don't really.
All right,
So I just kind of make up for that, the budget for that. That instead of buying him a toy or whatever,
all
I get
right.
him those
Cool.
things. So, but if it's anything unreasonable, but you have to be careful, dude, because there was a kid in the news. It went viral. There was a kid. I think he charged like almost like $10,000 or like $5,000 worth of stuff. Oh no, it was here in the Philippines. I think the kids, I think umabot ng 200,000 pesos. The kid,
Yeah, I think my
like,
sister said that to me, and
yeah,
I
the
checked
the the, the
my
dad like had his credit card like connected
true,
to his
true.
phone, like his
Now
whatever,
my
and
yeah,
he just went crazy with the
yeah,
purchases.
it, the
So
the the payment there was I think it was uh uh bill, a phone bill. So I have to like, you know, have to
check.
put it in like nothing, like payment nothing, like nothing. You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
do
yeah,
that here.
yeah,
Like it's just like
yeah. Because
nothing
you
for
have the
payment.
option to make it like credit card or
Yeah.
PayPal or something, right?
Yeah.
Like
So there
payment
was just
method,
like
like a
nothing
payment.
there. Because that was the
Yeah,
time when
make
like
sure.
Snow started to like, what have you been buying stuff? And
Yeah,
my wife was then my sister was like, no, I think they're gonna ask for confirmation. I think no Snow knows that, but then yeah, I know. But what if she just push and push? So it's like
yeah,
I've been checking my bill every now and then, but yeah, so far it's safe. So I was just like
yeah,
so
yeah.
pissed. I was
Dude,
like so
kids will
pissed.
figure it out. Kids will figure it out. I'm
I
just lucky that
know.
Raj si Raj may
That's
takot sa
why.
Diyos. You know what I'm saying? May
Yeah,
takot
I
pa sa Diyos
actually
yung
used
anak ko.
Raj.
Like,
I actually used Raj today with Snow.
as
Like,
an
you know what,
example.
Snow? You're becoming like Raj. Raj was like, Papa, I want Robux. Papa was like, yeah, don't be like that, okay? I was trying to, sorry, Raj, I have to use
I'm
you.
just being a kid. Jeez, Dad, let me live.
But
When are
now
you
I
gonna
think I
give
can
me
still
Robux
fool
when I'm
her.
40?
I think I can still fool her. So I was just like saying that, like, oh, you know, Raj, like, Tito Raj, like, yeah, like, he always asks for Robux. Every day, Robux, Robux, Robux. So she like, and she would say, "Dummy, the name." Like, yeah. Sound good, yeah. All right, so no, don't buy anything. Let's play with the game without the Wi-Fi. Is that
Why
all
don't you
right? All
use
right, okay.
Luli as an example? I
I
think
know because
Luli asked for Robux.
no, Lily was playing with the with the Barbie too, but I've never heard her like buy stuff or whatever. But you know, like so I don't know if Lily buys stuff. She could
Well,
be buying stuff. I
like,
don't know.
in the words of a friend of mine, Raj just opened Pandora's box. There's no closing it.
I know.
There is no
I
closing it
know.
for Raj.
That's why like
He knows.
if I
He
can
is
still
now woke.
stop her
He's woke.
from yeah,
Raj
I
is
know,
woke.
right? So that's why I don't want to like start now. Like maybe at some point she will figure it out. She will press
Yeah.
for it. She will ask from her mom, and her mom might probably give in. But for now, as long as I can say no, and she just believes me, and she's just like, all right, okay, then I want to
Yeah.
keep it that way. But I know at some point it will be my
Because I
problem.
mean,
Your problem
it
would be my
starts out
problem.
it starts out as like 99 cents, but they can add up. I mean, before you know it,
I
you like
know.
you get them 99 cents items for like
Knowing
a
her,
week. That's
dude,
like
no,
ten
I don't trust
dollars.
her. Knowing that's my kid we're talking about. I know her, so I don't
I
trust
know.
her.
That's how I feel about Raj too. He's my son.
Yeah, I know
So I'm
myself.
knocking on the bathroom.
She's me. She's me. So I'm like, no, no way. You're not gonna start that
There you
shit. Let's
go.
play basketball. Let's
There
play
you go. There
basketball.
you go. All right. Well,
All right. Okay.
no romance there between our kids, obviously, but
No,
still,
no.
we got that out of the way.
Oh crap.
For the people who joined in, To my aunt Bless again, a belated happy birthday to my sister Ate Maui. She turned 50, so
Hmm.
I still have a couple of years left. I'm still on the four, so I'm gonna enjoy the couple of years I have left. The line of four. I'm gonna dread being five. We are ways from that ice. Also to my auntie Bless, of course. Mandy, thank you for joining in,
Mandy,
and again,
of course.
congratulations on your engagement. We also had Lay, of course. Shout out to Judge if you guys are still tuned in. Shout out also to Jepoy. And yeah, what's up, Jep? And when's our Saturday, right? What's our episode about? You have
Saturday.
what's our
Well,
Saturday episode? Do we have something
I'll
already?
post it tomorrow because I don't know if Pinky can join us or not because I'm trying to like
Okay.
we want to talk about something that um that's also for women, but then we need a woman in the panel to
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
something
I
that
mean,
involves women.
I was thinking like, is money the root of all evil? Is truly the root of all evil? Because I mean, like like that's a universal topic. Because everybody needs money. Everybody doesn't have money, and even but we also see people with money but be miserable. And we also see
That
people
is
with no
true.
money but are happy.
That is true.
Right? Right? I mean,
Yes,
we can talk about that. That's a universal topic. Is money because we know people with money, we know people who don't. We've been in situations where we didn't have money. We're also been in situations where we have. Did it make us any more contented or happier, or did it cause more stress
hmm
when you think about it? So that could be a topic for Saturday. There's also that bromance for Monday. And yeah, so whatever, Iceman will post tomorrow and we'll find out what the topic is.
all right. Okay. So yeah, join us on Saturday. Thanks a lot, and yeah, just remember that there are so many things that we have in our minds, and most of them are just like made up stuff. So yeah,
Yeah,
just take it easy and love yourself. That's the
yeah,
most important thing. All right. Thanks a lot for
true
joining
that.
us. My name is Iceman,
Rod Rodriguez.
and this has been the OK Show. Good night, and we are out.